Where the fuck are you? Yeah. What's good, Joe? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this evening, Pat Scorpion, New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? RingGangRadio.com in the building. It's your boy Gold Artist, aka Shuttleworth, the guy LB Lauderdale Boss. You know what it is.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Yo, what's good? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxer in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer. Except, he was definitely far from the sewer, man. He was in the house today. He was in the house last weekend, yesterday. For this big fight we're about to get into, man. Now, tell me, man, the important question: did you see any rats there, and did you stomp them out?
No rats there because they would have got stomped out with the quickness.
Yes, sir. They would have been left like Teofimo's face. Am I correct?
Nah, probably worse.
Damn.
There we go. Yeah, just have to make sure, you know what I'm saying?
Sound like we talking Derevyanchenko after the Golovkin fight worse.
Nah, more like Badu Jack type worse.
God damn.
God damn, that's...
Or you flash kicked his face, nigga?
Yes, sir. See, that's what I'm saying. Though, you rats, you better stay the fuck out of our way. You know what I'm saying? When you ever see King P, Bodega P, you better go crawl back in the sewer where you came from and shit, nigga. Like, you ain't fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Because we hate rats. We hate rats out here, man. Especially the snitching type. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all gotta be careful out there. You know
hold on. Shout out to Miss 702. Fight was great, man. Shit.
Yeah, fight was excellent, sweetheart. Yeah, trust me, we're gonna be raving about some raving about some fights. Trust.
We about to talk about the Teofimo Lopez Kambosos fight first.
Yeah,
because King P was at that.
Yeah, sure. And then we just get into our intros. And last but certainly not least, man, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's fly? It's your boy Conscious Pilot, aka the West Coast Avenger, the #1 contender preparing for liftoff destination. Ringing Radio, let's get it, man. Let's go.
Hey, Conscious Pie, stays elevated, stays above the clouds. You dig? You know what I'm saying? So it's good. We here on a Sunday evening. Usually we do it. Usually do it in the afternoon or whatever. But it was Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving or Turkey Day or just a day that y'all just eat. It was safe. It was good. Y'all watch football. Talk to your family members. Gambled a little bit or something like that. Talk to your shit with your family members. All that good stuff, man. And then you're still eating leftovers just like I am and how most people are, man. So yeah, like I said, some of us were indisposed, during time. So yeah, evening time, and that's quite all right. You know what I'm saying? Like we always make adjustments, man. Ring Gang, we do what we do, you know what I mean? But yeah, this weekend was outstanding with boxing, man. When you get two fight of the years, that were damn near back to back, and you also have a couple of great fights, as an addendum or on one card, the other card was just, ambiance. It makes for a great weekend, man. But we're definitely gonna get into this Teofimo Lopez George Kambosos Jr. fight, man, because that shit is buzzing out there, man. And
word. Hold on, we got another comment. Told that boy Pilot T.O. would get exposed.
Pilot. Pilot is Pilot is a big supporter of Teofimo Lopez, and I have nothing against Teofimo Lopez, man. He's a cool cat, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, all signs were pointing that he wasn't moving right. And I always said in previous podcasts too, like all we need right now to complete this cipher is fuckery, and fuckery is what we got. For this, like all the shit that went down. And to think that this shit only came to pass because Teofimo and Senior, wanted more money to do the fight against Kambosos, for Top Rank. And now, of course, we're going to see how Top Rank is going to treat them going afterwards because they did revamp the contract. But I can see, Uncle Bob might make a little changes to that going forward because, the way since Teofimo lost his belts on a non-top ranked platform.
Damn. Was it worth it?
Yeah, that's what we're going to see. It probably was not. Teofimo, he got himself probably maybe around $2.5 million. Well, he got some money because of the fallout from Triller. I forgot what the amount was, and then he got the lion's share from the Zone and Matchroom, which was I think like $2.5 million, some shit. So he got paid. It wasn't $4.1 million, but he got himself the pay that he was looking for. But it came at a price. And depending how things move forward, it may come at a bigger price. But we had, but our man King P was up in there last night, man. That was his first duty as a media cat for us, man. So P, man, the floor is yours, man. Tell us your experiences.
I mean, man, what a way to pop your boxing cherry, with the media. Sir. That was quite the event to go to. It was, the atmosphere was electric, especially, as the main card started and everybody started filling in, everybody started coming in. And it's funny because throughout the lead up to this fight, all I kept hearing people say was, a lot of people was like, well, I heard the tickets aren't moving so well. You know what I'm saying? I heard T.O. not selling well. You know what I'm saying? He needs to sell some tickets. You know what I'm saying? He needs to move some numbers. Well, shit. By the time it was the main event, I didn't see one single empty seat in that building. So
yes, sir.
I guess he did a pretty good job moving them seats, selling them tickets. So I mean, I ain't never seen so many Honduran flags in my life. New York has low key has a Honduran population, so
they have an everyone population, man. Like they have.
I'm saying, like
they showed out.
I saw that Australian flags being flown around too, like from my screen.
No, I mean, like there was some Australian flags, but there was so many Honduran flags I couldn't count. Like you would have to be in Honduras to see as many Honduras flags as I saw last night.
Although the nigga like low key, he don't be repping Florida like that though.
Yeah,
like, rep New York and shit. I mean,
no, they bill him as Brooklyn because T.O. Senior is from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
so.
Nigga need to step out of his damn father's shadows already and rep where you at. I mean, rep you.
You know why?
Yourself.
Because also a lot of people. I'll tell you what it is. Also a lot of people allow him to claim Brooklyn and want him to claim Brooklyn, especially because what I'm saying, I deal with a lot of cats from Brooklyn. And a lot of them say, we claim him because, when he talks, he sounds like us. Like we hear the Brooklyn in him when he speaks. So like a lot of them claim him, like will allow it because they feel like the way he talks is like one of us. So they let him claim Brooklyn.
It's corny as fuck.
Yeah, I'm just seeing some more comments. Yep. What up, Kat? I just see your comments. She's like, hope y'all had a good time. Too cold to be out there. Well, I mean, P's a soldier though. That's the thing. Like,
oh man, I was stunting in my Montclair. I wasn't worried about nothing.
Yeah.
I was chilling up there with Mr. Chris Algieri. He was there. Shout out to Chris. He was a dope cat. He straight up told me, he's like, watch, I'm a beat Conor Ben. I'm like, okay. Like, he's like, he told me, he's like, he has so many holes and I'm gonna exploit all of them. So
that's a confident man, though. Yeah,
that's a confident man. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
he got the skills to give Ben some problems.
I mean, he gave them, like, he says, like, because he mentioned about how he gives credit to the British market because they know how to build up and hype up their fighters. I guess even when they're not that good. He didn't say that part, but I know that's what he meant. Like, I know that's what he meant. Because a guy like Conor Ben is hyped up in the UK when he's not that good of a fighter, at least yet. I'm not high on him. Plus, it doesn't help that his father is.
It's like what he's like the British Joey Spencer then? Like, what is it? Oh, no, that was Josh Kelly. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? He was cool. McCaskill up there, she was cool. Rick Ramos, so they was up there too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course they were. Notice I used the word they.
Rick was cool though. I fucked with Rick. Rick was cool.
Yeah, I'm sure he's cool though, but it's always going to be they. You know what I mean? It's never going to be she. It's going to be they or he. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it is what it is.
Crazy people. I mean,
Their business is their business, but they was good people. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah.
Everybody up there was good people, so we enjoyed the atmosphere, and watched it from up high, and everybody with the whole crowd was enjoying the whole really card, but especially once it got to the main event, they was out in full force. You heard
could feel
everybody.
the atmosphere through the TV when that main event came. Like it was just over the top. Like you could tell, like people couldn't wait for this fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I gotta say, and this is just my personal opinion. I'll give Matchroom and DAZN credit for this because I feel my personal opinion. I feel like if Bob Arum and Top Rank had this card, it wouldn't be like that. I don't think the atmosphere would have been like that.
And I can see that.
I can see that. I could definitely see that.
And that's not a shot to Bob Arum and Top Rank, but it's just they do things differently.
Yeah,
and what Matchroom did worked for Tio, and it showed.
They made it seem like it, a big fight.
Well, what they did was they actually put like videos and shit on them. I actually was able to find videos on the Matchroom like Twitter or the YouTube.
Yeah, I actually subbed.
They promoted the hell out of that in such a short time.
So I subbed to all the boxing outlets, main ones. Yesterday I subbed, before the fight, I literally subbed to the Matchroom. I never knew I wasn't subscribed to the Matchroom channel, just because there was a video playing of Teofimo or some shit. So good job.
I mean it was definitely so. The atmosphere was there. I got to talk with some other guys. You know what I'm saying? They was they was all cool people. I ran into a lot of people that was like, in the know, I ran into somebody in Tio's camp and he mentioned that like, Tio's ready, but like, he's he's ready for it. He just wants this to be over with. He's going to get him out of there. And he managed to slip in something about how Tio went a little bit without training. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, that's super believable though.
I'm like, wait, like how and then I heard after a fight somebody else told me, then I heard, oh, he went a month without training, and I'm like,
oh,
what?
Damn.
Which I find that hard to believe because like that man has to cut a serious amount of weight, and you're telling me he went a month without training. Like, how's he gonna cut that weight? So I don't know if it was exaggeration, but that once I heard that whole, well, he hasn't really been training like that. Now it's like, okay, now it's gonna make this interesting.
Oh, and then also just a quick interruption. Shout out to Mr. Out the Way. Salute. He says salute to the channel in the chat. Salute. Thank you for for tuning in and listening.
Salute.
Listening to us. As we get into some fight talk tonight, man. Definitely. We definitely salute you.
And first in the 15 said basically definitely wasn't worth it. Bob would have made sure camp was right with trainers, nutritionists, even paid off judges if he had to.
Well, truth to be told, and we'll probably get into this later on, though, some of them judges were on that bullshit, but I'll wait to get more.
I mean, but there is some truth to what he's saying, though. Like,
no, he's right. He definitely is, though. But the judges part, though, like I said, it did seem like the judges part was still stayed the same. Like, so, like them cats was. Some of the shit were kind of wilding a little bit, but like I said, we'll definitely get into that part though.
One thing I'll say this though, when P said in regards to like the atmosphere, like he don't think Top Rank would have made it as live. I could agree because it's like Teofimo's at that level where you expect him to have that type of Berlanga energy about him in all his fights. Like he gets engagement from the crowd. He gets like, he gets shit loud, but it don't seem like he's that next level. Like when you heard Tank in that Charlo card that one time,
right?
Where like niggas losing their mind, or that prime Ricky Hatton, versus with Ben Tacky and niggas just like like going crazy type shit. Like, but Tio could definitely be there. But yeah, Matchroom, they good at what they do, sometimes.
Yeah, because I think Matchroom, they really do try to make a focus on their social media part. That's one thing that Eddie does do. That's why he'd be holding his events like in random locations that most people just don't like. don't really.
That's why he be having auxiliary media, nigga.
Yeah, true.
Like he be, you know, low key he look out because the thing is Top Rank would have had what's this shit? They would have just made like one little preview video,
right?
And you'd have just been done. But like you remember that Navarrete, what's that? Chris Pearson? No, not that card he had in damn Florida.
Was that the Friday card? That was a Friday. Wasn't it like a Friday card?
I think it was, but that card was fucking lit though.
It was lit. It was lit. It wasn't supposed to be lit.
That's the type of energy you want at a Tiafimo fight when Top Rank is doing it. So I get exactly what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my bad. Keep going, bro. Like you dropping some real shit.
No, I mean, although the only thing it's funny that now that you mentioned auxiliary seats, because that was probably the only thing that pissed me off was that like I didn't like everything was like I'm getting in and I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Like I'm not floor seats. I'm like, okay, so where am I? Oh well, like I don't know. What do you mean I don't know? So then I'm like, oh, then somebody took you're try the auxiliary seats, and then I went and one of them was completely blocked off. He's like, no, you can't go here. Like I was told this is where the media is. He's like, oh no, that's where it is, but not this section because this section is sold out. It's private. It's privately booked. Try the other one, and I'll get into why that was privately booked later. But yeah, a certain 160 fighter, you know, privatized that auxiliary spot.
Yeah.
I wonder who it could be.
I know, right?
Oh man, but shit, I did. So after that, you found your seat, you was good, and then like fast forward to the main event.
Like, I mean, by that time everything was we was waiting, and every time like they were showing them on screen, so everybody started getting more anxious because they were showing them in the back, showing them getting ready, and every time Kambosos was shown, you just hear a loud roar of boos like crazy, and then Tio came on and everybody just started losing it. Like, so it was one of those. It would go back and forth. Boo, boo, yeah.
I feel like they was on some like slow teasing type shit. Like they really had you wait for these niggas to really start the fight off. Like, yeah.
So
I feel like that's what we doing with the podcast right now. So y'all niggas get into this shit.
But yeah, so I mean, get into the fight. You know, once the fight started, Tio just came out guns blazing, and everybody was like, everybody was going crazy because it's like he was coming with it, and I'm like, okay, he's aggressive, he's not landing much, but everybody like the crowd is with it. Like, okay, let's see how far this goes. My first observation when I saw how fast he went out, I said quickly, immediately, I'm like, he's coming in wild, he's throwing, lefts that aren't landing. He's just kind of like, I'm like, I can tell he's trying to get out of this quickly. He's trying to end this quickly. And I'm wondering, I'm like, I already know because he said he wasn't going to be at 135 anymore. This is going to be his last fight. So I'm like, he's trying to get him out of there before the late rounds because I don't know if he can go that far because then the weight's going to catch up to him.
Word.
So, he came out, the crowd was going crazy. And then next thing you know, whoop, that counter right hand just dropped him, and the crowd just went, oh, like we was just like, and it sucked the wind out of it for a little bit. But
I can imagine because at that point I was watching it on my laptop because the Showtime card had already started, so I had it on mute. And when that shit happened, I almost threw my laptop on the floor. I was like, yeah, I was like, oh shit! I was like I really had to really stop myself from like swearing in front of my father like that. I was just like, yo, I was like,
that was a beautiful overhand right, like to get him dropped.
Yeah,
it really just came like quickly, like it was the surprise of it because Tio's lunging, trying to connect, and then the next thing you know, he steps back and the right hand just comes and just drops him. So it was a bang bang thing. So that really just shocked everybody.
Yeah, so that set the whole mood, really. And the funny thing too is like, Lopez had that look on his face. Just like, yo, I just got hit with some shit. Like he, it wasn't no flash knockdown. Like, I mean, dude clearly was affected by that shot because dude got up. I saw a little fear in his eyes. I was like, damn, this dude just dropped me with one shot.
Yep. So I mean, and so I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see how Tio responds. I actually thought he did well in the second and third rounds, but he was still kind of too aggressive, too anxious. I'm like, he needs to just slow it down because he's gonna get caught again with something he doesn't see, and who knows? Because in the second round, Kambosos missed on an overhand right that if he would have landed on it, like he probably would have like took his lights out because he threw it with intentions. Like every intention that like everything was like put into that punch, and he just missed it. I was like,
yeah, honestly, I think every punch in that damn fight was throwing attention. Like those two, like I mean, they were throwing mean. Like those two were sitting in the pocket, just winging like shots at each other. Like, and that was the thing. Like you usually don't see that too often. Like they were winging fast shots at each other. Like, and Kambosos was taking a lot of that shit. I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, he really has a lot of confidence in his chin to be taking.
Yep. But I mean, in the early first, I would say in the first 3 rounds, like he wasn't taking as much yet because he wasn't really like Tio wasn't really connecting. He was trying to connect, but he like I could tell. I'm like, okay, what's his game plan? I'm like, what is he trying to do? Because it didn't seem like honestly, and like when the third round hit, I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't have a game plan because he's not really following up on anything. He's trying he's trying to do horrible catch and shoots. I'm like, he's not really doing anything that's working. Like there's no punishment to the body, which is what he should have been doing.
Right.
So like nothing was going on. Like he was just trying to just get him out of there, but he wasn't doing anything to really follow up with anything.
Well, once you heard his dad after the first round, you know he had no game plan. Well, once you heard on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you probably won't be able to hear, but yeah, Senior was on there. He wasn't saying shit. It was like, he was saying shit. Just throw the right hand. Like I thought you get rid of him.
Why haven't you knocked him out already?
Get him out of there. What the fuck?
Get him out of there already?
That was off balance.
Yep.
Yeah, that was off balance.
I didn't hear that, but that doesn't surprise me. By the 4th round, Tio was getting boxed up. Like boxed up badly, and I kept saying because I was saying to the guy that right next to me, I'm like, Tio is clearly frustrated, and because Kambosos is doing a really good job of setting him up, he's trapping him, setting up with traps, left hooks, right hands. He's like he's going in and out, so he was circling around, so bop out because Tio couldn't throw the right hand without setting his feet, and by the time he set his feet, Kambosos was already circled out. So I'm like, okay, I see what he's doing a good job. He's banging in 2-3 punches, then getting out. Because Tio is just throwing one punch. If Kambosos is going to throw 2-3 punches to Tio's one punch, Kambosos is going to win that exchange every time.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too is like Tio he was resorting to lunging and running into the fucking ropes like his fucking wrestling.
Super anxious.
Yeah.
It was anxious, and then just not having any plan of putting anything together.
You just riled up for no reason. Like it's like you could tell both was fighting angry, but one guy was fighting angry with like a strategy, a game plan, and he was in shape. Or Lopez looked a little flat, but he tried to force shit, and it just wasn't working, man. He was landing one punch for every 4 he would throw.
And it's one of those like it started to feel to me like I almost laughed because I felt like it was like almost like Tio was like trying something. Like it was like when you play a video game, especially when you play boxing game and you got the novices that play Fight Night and they just like, well, okay, I'm gonna just throw the turbo button and like just trying everything they can, like something different without like, okay, well this doesn't work, okay, I'm gonna just try this, like I'm gonna throw the turbo, and then like Tio's like, okay, I'm a shoulder roll. I'm like, why are you shoulder rolling, bro?
Nigga was cycling through like 17 different styles. Like, dude, pick one. Like, and his shoulder roll be pissing me off.
It's
like
awful.
Honestly, just maybe a notch, maybe a half a notch better than Berto's. Like,
I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that. I thought his was almost as like damn near as bad as Berto. Like,
yeah. You know what? You could, because the thing is, at least he was there with the counter out of it. Like, but. He was getting lit up like 3-1 trying to just do a regular shoulder roll counter. So it was just a bad game plan. It kind of reminded me of Anthony Yard.
Yeah,
like he kept trying to shoulder roll for no reason and not get the left hook off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then these niggas don't hide they don't hide their chin behind the shoulder. They don't get the angle right, because if you're in the natural angle of the of your opponent, the punches are supposed to naturally ride off. All you're doing is just kind of rotating your hip, rotating your shoulder, chin already tucked down and protected. But these niggas square up on their upper half and be right in front of their damn opponent trying to shoulder roll, and that shit just never works.
The problem is a lot of these guys don't have a lot of these guys either don't have the tools or they just use it in the completely wrong way. You know what? I used to joke. I used to joke about Broner. I used to say when it came to Broner's shoulder roll, like I would say Broner is the guy that has a high-tech gaming computer but just uses it to browse Facebook. That's literally like he would use the shoulder.
Was looking like that. Like he couldn't decide on what the fuck he wanted to do.
Like he wasn't okay, if you're gonna utilize the shoulder roll, do it properly. Do you even know how to do it properly? You're just trying to do something at least have a fucking formation of what you're gonna do. Have some.
And then he doesn't switch the hands up like fast enough to when he's trying to walk the guy down,
because it's like, okay, he would try to he would use this, because first I shook my head because he used the shoulder roll and he's going forward. I'm like, okay, so are you gonna do it like James Toney and go forward with it, and then he would go backwards? I'm like, okay, pick a side.
Then Kambosos would hit him right in between.
Yes,
and round after round, you can see the trademarks all over Teofimo's face, man. His eyes were all swollen and shit.
Because every punch Kambosos threw had mean intentions. Like
by the 8th round,
teaching him a lesson.
By the 8th round, I started noticing all the marks. I'm like, dude, this dude is marked up so bad. Like both of his eyes were messed up. One of them was was damn near closed. Like I could tell
he was bleeding from his nose, like because the blows coming down from his nose to his mouth. You can see all this. I was like,
to his eyes. Yeah, he had a blood puzzle on his face.
Like by the end of the 7th round, he went to his corner, like he was breathing like heavy. I saw him in the corner. He was breathing like really, really heavy. I'm like, okay, here we go. See, this is why he wanted to get it done early, because that tie is it's starting to get worse and worse. I don't know how much more he could handle this. This is a battle of attrition, and Kambosos is still fresh. Like he still had a lot to give. So I'm like, okay.
Kambosos did get marked up. Like, he didn't. I mean, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was fresh.
No, he was marked up too, but he still looked like the much fresher fighter.
Right.
He fought like it too.
He was marked up, but I'm like, okay, he could still go. I didn't know if Teofimo could go the full 12. By the end of the 7th, I'm like, I don't know if he can do 5 more of this.
So, he started turning it around in the second half, though.
And then I think, to me, I noticed it in the 9th round. The end of the 8th. At the end of the 8th, he started putting some shots that actually troubled Kambosos.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, let's see. Maybe he gave him something to work off. Then starting in the 9th, that to me is when the tide started turning, and he's starting to put together his offense. And Kambosos is starting to take a lot more punches. And I'm like, credit to him, because he's got a chin on him, and maybe he thinks, okay, I could take these punches. I don't know how much steam they had on him, but I'm like, okay, let's see if Teo can do something with this. And then in the 10th, whap, he dropped him just went straight down. I'm like, oh shit, and he was hurt. Like it was no flash, no nothing. Kambosos was legitimately hurt. And when
he was hurt. He was dead to right.
When he came up, he was wobbly a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is the time to get on him now. And Teofimo tried to get on him, but I don't know if he just didn't have enough, because I felt like he kind of punched himself out, or Kambosos survived. Well, Kambosos did a great job of surviving.
That he did.
He just couldn't muster enough offense to just put him away. And that's where I said the game planning was all messed up, because it was just even when he did something well and he had success with something, he didn't follow it up with anything. I'm like, okay.
But he didn't put in no body work investment either. So
that's what I'm saying. And then I'm noticing in the 8th round, I didn't start noticing body punches until the 8th round. I'm like, why are body punches in the 8th, round 8? This should be done in starting round 2.
Yeah, they were just swinging headshots at each other. That's what that's all about. Like, how many combinations can I land on your head?
So
the body was not a factor like that.
So yeah, it was not. But okay, he finally got to him. He was hurt. I'm like, okay, now now everybody, the crowd is going crazy. You know what I'm saying? We really got a fight on our hands. And I think on my personal scorecard at the end of the 10th, I actually had it tied at the end of the 10th. And now I'm like, okay, we got to fight. Now the championship rounds. Let's see if Teo's a champion. Now he's got to do something these last 2 rounds. And to Kambosos' credit, he survived. He refreshing, and he went back to boxing him up because Teo was just trying to spam the left hook, and it wasn't landing. He was just spamming punches that had no effect because they didn't land flush. Or I don't know if they hadn't have any steam on him, but it wasn't working.
And on top of that too, like he opened up a mean cut over his left eye. He started bleeding like a stuck pig. Like, I mean, that's why this is where Kambosos showed his level. Like Kambosos bit down on his mouth guard and was like, you know what? Let me go put this away. He wanted it more than
TFC. Yeah, he could taste the championship.
Like Kambosos landed like four lefts, like some, like not in a row, but like all of them landed successfully. And I'm like, you would think that Teal would like guard against that because he's like, now he's getting confident and he's throwing that left, like fucking do something. And Teal just went forward, like hands down, and getting hit with all of them. I'm like, see, now you had a chance to finish this, and you're basically lost the fight.
Yeah,
so
I heard
the 12th round, he got once again, and a lot of people booed because they thought like, okay, because the doctor came and had to check a look at Teofimo, and the crowd was not having it. They were booing and like, you know, they're checking him. He's like, okay, you ready to go? Because everybody was happy that they didn't stop it. Because whenever you see a doctor checking up on a fighter, you're always ready for the fuckery. But they let him go, and Teo then got worked the rest of the 12th round.
He did. Sure did.
And it was at the end, everybody was up. Everybody was waiting to see what the scorecards were going to be. You know, I was talking to some of the boys up there. You know, we all had our opinions. And I personally scored it like before the announcement. I said I have it 115, 112 for Kambosos. I felt Kambosos won. He was the right man to win. But I'm like, okay, let's see what the judges say. And it took a little time. And we all know how that goes. When the longer it takes to read the scorecards, then you know there's going to be some fuckery afoot.
Of course.
So literally, David Diamante says, ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. I'm like, okay, here we go. And the crowd's just on edge. You know, first person scored it for, you know, Kambosos. Second judge scored it for Teofimo. And see, this is the funny part because you could tell, like, this is where I can tell that, I mean, I knew this off bat, but like this just like showed that like the crowd really was there for Teo. They didn't really know much about Kambosos. So when they said 115, 112 to the winner and still undefeated, everybody started cheering because everybody thought they were talking about Tito. I'm like, wait a minute. Kambosos is undefeated too. Yeah. I said that like in the session afterwards. Oh, Kambosos is undefeated too. And then right afterwards, and everybody just started booing. Like it was like they all cheered. It was the fake cheer, and then it was just boo. Like the crowd was raining down. They felt like it was a bait and switch.
Damn.
So motherfuckers was mad. I went down. I saw. I think it had to be Teo's family because a little girl they were going out crying. Like it was not a happy. It had to be in the Teo's camp, like Teo's niece or something like that, because they were crying. So yeah, that ending was not good for them. And I'm like, okay, you know, the right man won. I'm happy. You know, they fought their hats off to both of them. And I'm saying, let's see what they have to say. So I was gonna say this is gonna be interesting. And you know, let's see how Teofimo responds. And then this dumb motherfucker is like, oh well, you know, I want to make excuses, but you know, I thought I won the fight. The judge, you know, the ref knows You know what I'm saying? I won 10-2. And I'm just like everybody just started booing when he said I won 10-2. Now it's like, now you're making an ass out of yourself, Lopez. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, everybody just looked at him like, nah. Like, he did worse than that was worse than AB to me. Like, that to me was legitimately worse than AB.
It's like you felt embarrassed for him. Like, damn, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you take that and graciously to some degree, but you lose a lot of points with that kind of shit.
But then he's like, well, I'm not trying to make excuses, and then he just starts rolling off excuses. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on now. And it was funny because I said this to somebody there, and he got a kick out of it. I said, I'm like, this is the same person that called Wilder a bitch for making all those excuses, and now you're crying just as bad as he was. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you hate to see it, but you love to see it.
he got to get his medicine. That's his comeuppance.
Yep, I mean that's it. The cipher got completed, man. Cipher,
and then afterwards, somebody was like, "Oh well," somebody told me, he's like, he didn't, he wasn't really training, and then his wife left him, and I'm just like, oh boy,
yeah, yo, what's this shit about his wife divorced him now?
Like, I really don't know much about that, but I did hear that they were having issues, but I don't know like the whole dynamics of their relationship. But I remember somebody said that they were having he was having marital problems. But I didn't know that his wife left him.
Yeah, I mean, like before, like there was stuff before where the family wasn't really for the woman that he eventually married, and then on one of the videos that Matchroom put out, Teofimo did touch upon it briefly that he wasn't with this baby mom anymore, and that's what he left it at. So
mom,
I knew they had issues, but I didn't know they had. Well, I thought they were married. No, they got
married, yo.
Married.
She had his kid recently, right? Too.
Yeah, he had the pictures on Instagram and shit.
I mean, it was kind of funny. Somewhat. I mean, what are you saying?
And he didn't want to. And he didn't like. I remember Bob Arum saying he didn't want to have to fight after October because he wanted to, because his wife was giving birth and he wanted to be there to take for his kid. So like,
yeah, I remember hearing that as well.
Everything was just weird. All the excuses. There were people. Then I talked to people. Well, I thought Lopez won. And I'm like, wait, seriously? Like, nah. Oh, well, it should have been a draw. And I'm just like, oh Lord,
that'd have been a robbery too.
So I'm like, okay, here comes the excuses. Here comes all the people taking up for him, and it's just like, yeah.
We're gonna get the reverse Lomachenko vibe that niggas have. Yeah, remember when T.O. beat Loma, you got motherfuckers like, oh nah, that could have gone either way. It was close. Nah,
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I think T.O. got a lot of the benefit of the doubt for a lot of the stuff, like with the recent stuff, because of the goodwill he built up with the Loma win. But I can tell you, all of that goodwill just evaporated. Like,
yeah, of course, that's just a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, dude was living absolutely like. I mean, I think the longer that the fight did come off, you could tell that dude was starting to get into different type of behaviors. Like, just like the Canelo fight, dude showed up there and was displaying his belts, and then you saw a lot of the shit going on with Senior being all up in the videos and shit like that. Like, yeah, like I mean, there was a lot, and there was a lot of and this is just added on to stuff that actually led to all these delays, like the COVID fuckery, and didn't want to go to Australia and the Triller shit, and yeah. I mean, the boxing gods showed out last night. You know what I mean? Like, it was only like something like this was only could only end in pure, unadulterated fuckery. And then like I said, and like I said, enough respect to George Kambosos because I know when we actually did preview this fight like months ago, at least like 6 months ago, like none of us didn't really think that Kambosos was going to win this fight.
Actually, I'm the only one that didn't pick a knockout. I picked a decision for Tia. I gave him enough respect to give him the decision to say that Kambosos would go the distance. No. But yeah, so
he spent all that time training, man. So his eye
was it's funny because in that poll that we did, the reason why I'm not really surprised because remember the poll we did of which of these fighters has the biggest, the best chance to pull off the upset. I actually voted for Kambosos. So I was like, "Ooh!" I ended up being right.
Right, and I think all of us acknowledge too that all the fuckery that was going on at the time that we did, because we also did a podcast on that too. We also acknowledged too that because all the fuckery that was happening, that it was a bigger chance of that happening.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we all gave Kambosos his props, though, his respect. Like, he, none of us said he didn't earn the fight. He definitely earned the fight.
He earned that fight.
He definitely was a live underdog. And honestly, we spoke more highly about him than fucking Sandor Martin, really.
And that's funny because I had a conversation with somebody there, and we had that debate of which was the bigger upset. And I personally, I think the Sandor Martin is the bigger upset.
Yeah, no, it still is. It has to be.
But there were people that
like,
there were people that were like, oh no, this is a bigger upset. Because one of the guys was like, he's like, to be honest with you, I never thought much of Kambosos. I didn't think he looked great even in the Selby win. I thought Tio was going to run him over.
Lopez isn't unbeatable. I mean, to me, he was never unbeatable. But to see a guy that struggled against Selby take a 0, I didn't expect that either. So,
right,
I don't see Kambosos really struggle with Selby. Like, he kind of beat him clearly, right? Like,
to me, it was a close fight.
I guess.
I mean, it was competitive. It was close, but like,
there were
if
people
Selby would have won that shit, it would have been a robbery.
There were people that felt like it shouldn't have been as competitive as it was.
Yeah, basically, that.
But
Selby's a former champion, so now we underrating him.
And the funny thing is too is like I just know.
I mean, it's not that we're down on Selby. And I don't feel that way. But a lot of people feel like Selby by that point Selby has seen better days and is 2 weight divisions past his prime.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
A little bit.
And then I'm just reading the comments that First and 15 said he actually had the Selby fight a draw. And like I said, truthfully, that fight was closer than most expected. It wasn't, like I said, a clear-cut win. And the other fight with Kambosos is like he's beaten 3 champions in a row so far, but they've all been split decision wins. But the Selby fight is probably the only fight that probably could be a draw or a split decision or anything like that nature.
And I mean, they were hyping the Mickey Bay win too. I mean, Mickey Bay was way past it, and they were hyping up that one. So,
but at least with the TFO, like this fight, the TFO fight should have never been a split decision because 2 of the judges, including the one that had it for Teofimo Lopez, didn't score the first round 10-8 for Kambosos. They did 10-9. So it's like
that's emotional.
See there. I don't agree with that because me personally, if you get the knockdown, I'm scoring it 10-8. But there are some people that feel like if you score, like if you're losing, 3/4 of the fight and then you just happen to get a knockdown, that you shouldn't be guaranteed a 10-8 round.
Nah, that's bullshit. Nah.
The only way I give you a 10-9 if you get a knockdown in a round if the guy was really beating the shit out of you and he didn't drop you. Right. But you end up dropping him, then that might be a 10-9. But
no, me personally, if you get if you drop the person, you're getting a 10-8 round. I don't play with
that. No, I feel you. But look, I'm talking about this. The level of beating I'm talking about. I'm talking about Brewster Klitschko type of beating. I'm talking about a clear like a nigga's about to go. Like you should have gone down. Like you're almost out on your feet, and then you throw one of those Kendall Holt punches and you clip a guy. Like it's hard for me to fucking give you a 10-8.
I get it.
If you took like a fucking Roadhouse ass whooping for damn,
I get it.
2 minutes and 40 seconds. But remember that's a rare case though. That's a rare that happens like 1 every 50 fights, right? We're probably due for one actually.
Right, but the Kambosos shit though was definitely
that's definitely fucking 10-8.
And the fact is that in the judges for Lopez one, it was all
two judges scored him, gave him the 12th round, and he lost the 12th round.
Oh yeah,
that was on that bullshit.
Yeah, so the judges really tried.
They didn't want no more upsets on Matchroom.
Yeah,
they tried. Bless their heart, they tried.
But like I said, if the cards were scored right, it should have been a majority decision for Kambosos. Truth. If
it would have been a fucking unanimous decision, really.
Yeah, that should have been a unanimous decision.
Like honestly, let's be honest. Like Teofimo won like maybe 4 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, and
like 5 at the most, but it's almost like the Loma
he
fight.
He won 4 rounds. That's it. That's how many rounds they gave him.
You could give like Loma won like maybe like 4 rounds at the most 5, but you're giving him the benefit of the doubt after that. Like even a draw is like, come on, and damn, if you have him winning, oh Lord, like you ain't watched the fight.
Yeah, I know, right? Shit.
So that's how I feel like this shit. It's almost like a all's well that ends well. You got to take the sport serious. I know we all got problems and shit going on, but man,
I mean, Kambosos had his own Kambosos had his own problems, and he made it work because he had his grandfather that passed. He was having he wanted to be with his wife, all that. So he's like, I'm gonna go home now. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna give my grandfather a proper burial. I'm like, okay, talk your. Then he's talking his shit. He's like, you got the 4 kings. Well, I'm the emperor. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he talk this shit. Yeah.
Talk that talk.
And I like that. Like he had switched the whole dynamic. Like, I come to fucking Australia. Like that's.
And he's right.
Come down here, motherfucker. You want this word?
Afterwards, that is where the fun started because I was laughing because I'm like, oh well, what do you know? Lou DiBella has another champion, and when Lou DiBella has a champion, you know how things get a little interesting,
right?
Because we know how Lou is.
Yeah, Lou doesn't want to feel like he needs to be forced into anything without him actually really going over the choices that he has now. So
first off, I was trying to speak to Kambosos, but Kambosos got exited quickly, and he had to Teo was nowhere to be found. He went immediately away, like out of sight, like the Broner shit. Where Broner, after we lost to Maidana, went straight out, like no, you didn't see the peep. He later found out he went to the hospital. Both of them went to the hospital. Kambosos was dehydrated, and Teo had to get some stitches. So they weren't really available to talk afterwards. But
some are a lot.
What?
Some stitches are a lot of stitches.
A lot of stitches.
Yeah.
But so myself and a lot of people actually spoke to Lou. And I can't tell you how many times Devin Haney was mentioned, like that, to the point where like he's visibly starting to get annoyed at, because I'm like, okay, now Devin Haney's got to be licking his chops, and Hearn's gonna want to push the Devin Haney fight to get it actual undisputed, and Lou basically was just like, he got to the point where I feel like he was asked too many times that he just went off. He was just like, listen. Much respect to Devin Haney, but we don't fucking need Devin Haney. He needs us more than we need him. I'm sorry to y'all acting like we have to fight him. We don't have to do shit for him. I'm like, damn, okay. Like
it's facts though.
And I'm like, listen, he's like, I understand the belt situation, but at the end of the day, Loma dropped the belt. I get it. But at the end of the day, Loma was still the man, and he didn't beat the man. Teo beat the man, so he's the man, and now Kambosos beat Teo, so Kambosos is the man. So we run this division. Like,
that's facts though.
Yeah, I had no problem with it, but I he's like, we're gonna take the rest of the year off. We're gonna reconvene, and we're gonna see how things. We're gonna survey the landscape, and we're gonna see what's available, and we're gonna make the best. I'm gonna make the best decision for George. What's best for George, not what's best for Haney, not what's best for anybody else. What's best for George,
right?
So it sounds like he's gonna.
Boxing is a Ryan Garcia fight.
So it sounds like he's gonna sell Haney to the highest bidder, because he asked me, he's like, how many tickets does Haney sell? Like, oh, like,
damn,
what bus does he put in the seat? Like, I'm like, oh damn. I can't argue. He's like, he doesn't sell pay-per-views, so like it's just it was obvious that he was getting annoyed with the because when you're pushing that enough, it's like now you make it seem like that Haney holds the cards, and
And he ain't even win his fight yet,
Yeah,
man. Niggas is already like giving him an auto win. Like, come on.
Exactly. So Lou put some fire on that. So it's going to be interesting to see who he fights. But we're gonna see after next week. We're gonna see how everything goes.
Right.
Yo, I got a. Oh, my bad. I had a question I was gonna ask King P, but I know what it is, so you could go ahead.
No, what's up? What were you gonna ask?
Go ahead.
Nah, you could. Oh, all right, fuck it. I earlier before you arrived, like in the pre-fight banter shit, I was saying like we talked about the whole highest bidder shit, and damn, I'm high. Were you here or were you not?
I was not. I wasn't here.
He wasn't here for it. I know the question you're gonna ask.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we were saying like everybody's gonna have to come down to Australia to fight him. I was saying Tank is the only one who could bring what's his name, Kambosos to Vegas or back to the US.
Absolutely. I mean, Atlanta. I think Tank could give him the biggest payday because Tank is the biggest money fight. But at the same time, here's the thing, and this was confirmed to me by PBC people, no names, but I'm just gonna say it was confirmed that Mayweather Promotions isn't going to overpay for Kambosos because they don't care about the belts, they care about the names. So they're not going to shell out money just to give him to give him that fight when he's not a name. Yeah, he has the belts, but they're not looking at belts. See, my argument to that is I feel like Tank should, but not because of Kambosos and not because of the belts, not for those reasons directly. Me personally, if I'm Tank, I make that fight. I pay for Kambosos because you're what you're really paying for is you're paying for control of the lightweight division. If you pay for that fight and you beat Kambosos and you get 3 belts, you run that division and you're putting everybody else, Loma, Haney, Ryan Garcia, you're putting them all in positions where now they have to come see you and you hold all the cards.
You're the money man right there.
So, but see, hold on, he's already the money man. But I feel like what King P is saying is like Tank has a gun, but fighting Kambosos will give him another loaded gun.
Right.
Absolutely, but I just don't, because of how Ellerby and Mayweather operate. I don't see him overpaying for Kambosos. I think at the end of it, if you ask me personally, I think it's going to be Haney because Hearn understands that Haney needs this fight. Haney needs this fight just
like Andre needed some fights.
Yes. Yeah. So they're going to overpay because that's how much Haney needs this fight. Yeah. So I think it's going to be Haney.
I'm telling you, Ryan Garcia going to end up with the fight.
And that's what I was talking about, or that's what I was about to mention before, because like I said, because Kambosos is in the position right now because he's not contractually bound to any platform. He can move how he pleases. He's politically, he's clear. So that's the reason why, that's why, like on the Twitter, you have Shakur, Jojo Diaz, and Devin talking all proper and say, "Hey, congratulations, champ!" Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia,
and Kambosos made it clear. If you want me, you're gonna have to come to Australia, and it doesn't seem like him and his team are budging on that because
I don't think so. Yeah,
his father said the same thing, and I can tell when people are BSing. But I did hear Kambosos say that himself, and it seemed like he meant it.
Yeah, and then also too, Hearn said it too because he said he wanted to make the fight with Haney for all the belts, provided Haney actually wins this fight. He said it was either going to be Vegas or Australia. So yeah,
move out of the way, Tim Tszyu.
Yes.
Y'all throw Ebony Bridges on the fight and on the card. And y'all got yourselves a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie. Like I fell asleep for that Zoo fight, but 4:00 in the morning, I'll be up for that joint for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll go 4 o'clock. I think they'll actually do it. I mean, I don't know what time we'll do it, but I don't think he'll be waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I think it'll probably.
They will do it in a time where everybody can see it. It's gonna be hard, but they'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to do it.
But the answer, 1st and 15th. The reason why I feel like they could overpay for Ryan Garcia because I believe they'll think that's such a beatable fight like a winnable fight for Ryan Garcia. Because they'll probably, because the way I look at that fight, Ryan Garcia flat-footed as fuck, and Kambosos will have to take the initiative, and he's gonna have to get in there and get in range to really be landing on Ryan Garcia in and out. And when he's doing that, he's taking a risk because Ryan Garcia's counter punches, especially the left hook, are like deadly accurate. And he'll probably clip Kambosos in one of those exchanges. And that's all she wrote. Well, and I feel like that's the biggest way to get Ryan Garcia at the top of the division after so much bullshit that he put the public through and all this hit and miss. Because it don't look like he's ever going to fight Devin Haney.
Yeah, Haney.
No. He's not going to fucking fight. He's only going to fight JoJo if JoJo wins. And honestly, I'm not even sure he would do that because then he might be spooked by JoJo if JoJo
he's not reliable right now. So
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Oscar was trying to make a big move for next year and get everybody in some bigger fights because this was the year that got everybody on the world level. Like Ortiz stepped up, Munguia's more popular than ever. Fucking Virgil Ortiz, same thing. You need a big move for Ryan Garcia. I'm just saying business-wise. You overpay for Ryan Garcia and you send his little ass down there to Australia. I'm telling you, that might be the play. And it'll be on the zone anyway.
Yeah, I think
honestly, that fight is more realistic than y'all think. Because look at the after value. Ryan Garcia controls everything. Then now the situation is in reverse. Devin has to fucking go to damn Ryan Garcia because Ryan Garcia gonna have 3 belts and Devin.
Is he close to any Mando? For any of those belts? Is he close to being the Mando at all, or no? I don't even fucking know the rankings for.
I think Loma is a Mando. Is close to being a Mando for 2 of those belts. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Like an undisputed fight only happens if an org does not call for a Mando to be done, and I don't think right now. I mean, which is maybe it might be too early, but I don't think. I mean, right now I think he's clear on that too. I think Eddie Hearn. I think it all depends on because right now everything, whatever future move that gets made in terms of how much the zone Eddie want to really shell out or offer Kambosos really depends on what Devin Haney does. Like if Devin Haney has an assignment that he needs to pass with the flying colors, in order to build interest, you gotta put away somebody. Like you gotta
see. They gotta look at it too. If Devin Haney passes the test, how good does he look? Does he look good enough where you're like, man? Like, fuck it, I'll take that risk. Like, I'll beat his ass.
Yeah.
Or does he look too good where you're like, I don't know, man.
I just feel like
I'll take this Ryan Garcia who's been out for a whole year. Coming off an injury. Got dropped by Luke Campbell.
I hear you. I just feel like, and the feeling that I get from that camp, from that side, from that team is that they feel like they kind of have Hearn at the balls right now. Because Hearn is desperate.
Yeah, of course.
So
you talking about Haney got Hearn desperate, right?
Like yes, Haney and Haney has him desperate, which means that Kambosos has his team benefits from that because they have a situation where they're dictating the terms because it's like you either you agree to our terms or you just.
But then what if they tired of hearing the word Haney though?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at Garcia's only. Other than the ring, he's only right behind Lomachenko for the WBC rankings. He's nowhere near on any other.
Oh yeah, so
it's the biggest leapfrog. I'm telling you.
But here's the thing.
Shit. Yeah,
this is something where I'm wondering about Lomachenko and that, because I know I'm like, well, because my first thought was, ornery old man isn't going to spend that much money. But then again, there are times where Arum does overpay because we've seen when he wants to, he can overpay for fights, giving Khan $5 million, giving Kelbrook $3 million. This could be a fight where I wouldn't put it past Arum to overpay for Loma.
Yeah. We forgot all about Bob. Yeah. I could definitely see them might do $6 million. fuck it, and Tio's gonna be like so angry.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's good to know that. But it's nice to see a fighter that can really control, like who got it, who got it from the dirt. Like he worked his way up, and Australia is not like world ranked boxing from Australia is not really a thing, and the fact that Kambosos really was able to score an upset of this magnitude, and now he's the man in his division.
I'll tell you who would love to be in Kambosos' position right now in his own division, Mr. Demetrius Andre.
Yeah.
Get into that so we could transition into the other fights.
Okay, yeah. So real quickly, Ring Gang, got our own video on YouTube, so go check it out.
And on the website.
Yep, ringgangradio.com.
On Twitter.
Yep,
on Twitter too. It's on Facebook too.
Yep, on Facebook too. We were able to catch up with one Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, and like I mentioned before, that auxiliary section that was private was for him because he was up there and he was telling the fans, y'all need to start putting pressure, on these promoters and on these fighters because they need to get in the ring with me. And let me tell you, the crowd was not trying to hear that. They were booing the shit out of it. Like he was getting that "fuck you, go home" type heat.
So I wonder how much that section costs.
I have no idea, but caught up to him afterwards, and on the video, it's right there. He's explaining. He's like, listen, that's your job. Like I understand. Like the fan, what the fans want. Y'all can't say y'all want to see the best fight the best, and then not want to see these guys fight Andre. Like y'all need to stop that. It's like y'all are afraid of these promoters saying, well, you can't ask these questions because if you do, we'll ban you. And so you let them just say whatever they want to say and let them run with that narrative instead of taking control of that narrative. Right. He looked at me and he said, instead of just listening to Canelo say, oh, well, Andre is a horrible fighter. No, ask him, why is he a horrible fighter? Challenge him for it, but nobody wants to challenge them for it.
Yeah, everybody knows right now he's not a horrible fighter. So that's a bullshit reason.
Everybody know it's bullshit, but everybody just laughing with the joke, which is low key some whole shit. I get the first 10 seconds laugh, but the running joke like it's a fucking sitcom kind of gets stale. So I see where Andre's coming from. He has a great point, but it just come off corny, man. Like give Briggs the bag, get some fly content creators, somebody to create this buzz for you organically or something, because now it just comes off like you begging, like you're like, I'm the cool kid, I got the new J's, the new basketball, the new PlayStation, this that. Like, how come y'all won't play with me at my house, man? Like,
I mean, and he was getting frustrated even like after the camera was off. He was getting even more frustrated because he's like people are asking him, well, what do you like? He would say these problems. He's like, well, what are you doing about the situation? He's like, what do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm here for? What do you think I'm telling you this stuff for? Like he was definitely getting very annoyed.
But that's the thing. It's like boxing media reach is only so big. Like you have to get something that's outside of that, because honestly, casual boxing fans just know him as Payday.
Yep.
He needs to control the narrative switch. You need a new name now, bro. Like you need something else, man. Like I'm telling him, like
my thing with Andre was, and he was like, when we were asking him, well, who do you want? Do you have a certain preference? And like, is there someone in specific that you want? And he's like, no, line them all up. I get that, but that's generic talk. That just tells me you don't really have a plan together. Pick somebody that you think that you can reasonably get the fight with,
and focus in on them. Thank you.
Like target somebody. You can't just, I'm going to target everybody.
Honestly, he's set up perfectly to target Munguia. Like, they should run a whole campaign to shame Munguia.
And he mentioned it. He's like, Munguia has been my mandatory for years now.
Right.
But the problem is with Andre, the whole world has to know this, not just boxing fans, not just the niggas who, you know, the zone subscribers, not niggas on YouTube comments and message boards. Like, the whole world, better yet, fucking Mexico needs to know that Munguia's been your mandatory and he's been avoiding you.
Right.
He has to do that type of campaign. Like, him speaking to the same people. It's like, look, they keep it real and, you know, just objective. You know how we always complain about, like, and shit. We big up women's boxing probably more than any other podcast or platform out there, first of all.
Yep.
Word.
But you know how we always be like, well, damn, man, you know, the women that complain about not being paid as much as the men, they need to start creating more women fans and crossing over into more women shit and kind of draw more casual women viewers out.
Right.
Facts.
Same thing Andre has to do right now. Like boxing fans, we know him, and the casual boxing fans who kind of know him just know him as Payday. Like, we get it. Like, you know, put something else in it. Like, focus on Munguia and change the narrative. Like, all I'm saying, be the one. Like, look, man. Like, you're not Canelo level yet. You haven't done anything to avoid me to say I'm like. Just switch the fucking narrative, because the only way he'll ever get a Canelo fight or closer to a Canelo fight, I feel like he has to beat a Munguia and drive it into Canelo face on some, I beat the up-and-coming Mexican star. Like, he wasn't ready for me, man. But, like, what's good with you? Like, something, man, because
Canelo's never going to fight it. Yeah, it seems like Canelo.
I don't think he will, but I know he has that little hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the only move that could go in toward that direction. Even with a Charlo fight, like, but Munguia is the easiest thing to make. Like, goddamn, like, focus on one nigga. Stop bringing up Charlo and Triple G. Like,
absolutely.
Because he mentioned both like he's like, because somebody mentioned, was like, well, you know, would you bring up somebody from 147 and 154? And he just looked at the 147 thing like nobody's coming up to Crawford. Yeah, nobody's coming. No, Crawford's not coming up to fight me. And he mentioned the Charlo thing, like little Jamel Charlo from 154. And I'm just like, there, like, do I want to tell him that Charlo's not going to fight him because he still holds a grudge against him for the 2014 shit? Because that might flip him off even more at that point.
Right.
You got to be damn. He gonna see you as Luke Keeler or one of them jobbers he beat up on.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get Quigley, my guy.
So, oh yeah, huh?
But,
he threw that Liam Wilson Williams uppercut.
But that's about it. That was all in all. It was a great night of boxing. It was great card to cover, great main event to cover. It was good to interact, to, you know, get some of these guys' thoughts and their views. So, you know, Ring Gang was definitely thankful to be in the house last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
showed out.
And in my case, like I said, you know, that probably replaced that fight is probably my leading fight of the year candidate for sure for now. Yeah, because like I said,
although a lot of people thought the other fight was better.
Yeah.
That makes for a perfect segue.
Ha ha ha.
Yes, you know, at the same time, because, you know, boxing promos are funny like that. Showtime also had a card as well. Main evented, you know, had a very intriguing unification at 122 with Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa. But before that, the story of that card was not particularly that particular fight. It was all three fights actually. Yeah, like the common theme of the whole card was, you know, the common theme was like the Mexicans, they weren't playing. Like, you know, they came to fight. Like,
I almost want to say it the way you said it before we went on. Oh, but yeah, fucking, I'll say it. I'll take the heat.
Shit, go right
somebody
ahead.
told the Mexicans that they're not jobbers.
That's exactly what it is. Like, Yeah, because
fucked up, but it's true.
Yeah, like when we preview this, like we pretty much mentioned that the Aleem and then Gary Russell, the 118 version, they were facing perceivably lesser comp.
Yeah, it was decent opponents, but like winnable guys that they should kind of. It's a step above showcase because these are world class guys. They're no pushovers and no scrubs, but they're the guys that you supposed to look good and win clearly. Kind of like how MJ's fight last week was Velasquez was.
Yeah.
Yeah, MJ, won clearly, dominated. Yeah, he might have had a couple bad moments or, but there was no doubt type shit.
Right.
This man, fucking Mexicans came out for blood, my nigga.
Yeah, they were probably like, Al probably told him, look, after a couple rounds, you guys gotta take a fall. Like we gotta build these fighters. And they were like, fuck this, fuck what this saying. Like,
fuck that.
Like I'm on TV, man. What the fuck is you thinking? And my personal mistake was because I was telling my father about Gary Russell and Reese Aleem. I was telling especially Aleem, I was like, yeah, Aleem's the truth, Aleem is that dude,
Dad wanted to kick you out the house after that shit.
Yeah, and then pretty much, I think probably the loudest my dad was during the Aleem fight, because Aleem kept on, but we'll get into that one. But the Russell fight, one thing is for sure, like I've been singing the Russell's praises for a minute. Like I'm a fan of all of them. Like they're all cool people and whatnot. The 118 Gary Russ. Now, for whatever reason, his latest fights, he hasn't looked as great. Like Payano is rugged. He's tough. Like I can understand the awkwardness. And then
Payano gives everybody a tough fight except for the monster.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Rodriguez fight was didn't have a chance to come off the ground because it ended because of a headbutt. So it was just like, okay, they lowered this comp a little bit, so it gave him a point that he could actually show out against, and then someone told Santiago was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm supposed to sit here and he's supposed to hit me and I can't do nothing. Like, nah. Santiago put hands on Russell. Like, it wasn't even like one thing that Gary Russell was doing that was pissing me off because he kept on touching the ropes with his back. He kept on going to the ropes.
That was driving me insane. The amount of times he spent on them fucking ropes.
Yeah, and he was like I said, and he has good pop too. He was relying on his pop to see if he could get Santiago to either sway Santiago from wading in or whatnot, but Santiago was not having that. Santiago took all them headshots. Like, I think he only wobbled off one of them, and that was like near the end of the fight. But Russell was just like he was trying to punch in between the flurries, and he was catching work to the head, and then Russell got tired, and he kept on bullshitting a little bit. Like it was not the type of performance you kind of expect for someone with his reputation. Like,
nah, he didn't look good at all. Like if you told me he was a brother like related to the other two, I'd have been like, stop.
Yeah,
because I don't see it because it's like, Angry Fist. He boxes good. He has power. He's physically strong, tough, heavy handed, and he just beats the shit out of you. Turbo Fist. He could box, got defense, and he just he just combinations and boxes the shit out of you. But Patient Fist is just, he's not assertive. He backs up too much. He gives ground. He has power. He has pop. He has the boxing ability, but he's lacking the ring generalship of the other two. Like,
the ring generalship.
Yeah, it's severely lacking.
Tentative fist.
He doesn't look as fluid or just
he's very tentative fist.
yeah.
Tentative fist. Wild. But
it was facts though, man. Like it was getting annoying to watch it because when he opened up, he was landing good shots that was rocking Santiago. Because Santiago was fighting like he was damn trying to avenge the honor of the Santiago.
That 140 beat, that 140 beat, right? The 140. The one Broner got the gift on, I think, too, right?
Was that
same time?
Yeah, that one. I guess you could call it a little gift. It was close, but yeah.
Yeah, but toward the end of the fight, though, it seemed like Santiago was outlanding him. Like it was a lot of things that was going on. Like Russell, and when Russell got tired, like he just kept on bullshitting, and Santiago was just lighting him up with shots. I'm thinking to myself, God damn, geez, like this, like I was like, and I thought by the end of the fight, I thought Santiago won that. Like I thought we were also hearing upset, or at the most minimum, it was a draw. You know,
yeah, because a part of me is feeling like, man, I don't think they're gonna get an upset. Give it to Santiago, but let me see if they give it a draw. At least give him credit. Nope, they didn't do that.
Yeah, so there was one draw. One judge gave it a draw, and then the other two gave it a 96-94. So, like, the score wasn't outrageous per se.
Yeah, at least the score wasn't crazy, so I could be like, okay, like, yeah. Y'all kind of gave a little benefit of the doubt, but you know.
Yeah, no, but yeah, one thing's for sure though. He's been active too, so one thing is for sure, PBC might have to be very careful how they move that guy. If Santiago is not Payano, he's not Rodriguez, they're former world champion. Santiago is just a regular journeyman,
like maybe fringe contender level.
Yeah.
He's definitely skilled, but damn, like he made him look on fire last night.
Exactly. So it's just like, you know, it just seemed like the whole tone was set, and then Reece Salim, who I was thinking, okay, this is not gonna last too long, you know, and he faced Diaz. You know, Diaz last time you saw him, he was on the Ring City card. And Aleem was actually landing on him, but the problem what was happening was Diaz was timing him and started timing him early. You know, with that,
was buzzing him with that shit, and it was repeatedly like there would be rounds where Diaz would be losing, and he would just land 3 good showy right hands, and you're like, God damn, and it makes the whole round even closer. Now you're like
right.
Wow. And some of those rounds happen where Diaz would really kind of ding him, or he would kind of control the round, and it's like you had to swing it to him.
Right, and then the only thing that Aleem was doing was just fighting harder, was just punching harder. You know, and he punched so hard and so much that, I mean, he doubled the punch output from Diaz, but he was worn down by like 9 because Diaz didn't go anywhere. You know, and honestly, if this was a 12-round fight, there could have been a very, very good chance Aleem would have dropped, because in the 10th round, dude was on fumes. I don't think I've ever seen my dad scream so many times on the TV, like seeing Aleem get hit with the same silly shit over and over and over. Over
that left shoulder, like him and Teofimo, man, like they was meant for each other. Like, put your fucking left hand up, like my goodness, and you fighting on the front foot with your face over your shoulder, like a taller guy. Bro, like,
yeah, it was just like Aleem, and the funny thing is too is like, you know, me and LB thought, you know, dude was like, you know, it was like pretty sound. I mean, it was definitely athletic, but we thought, you know, dude was pretty sound technically, but he has a shitload of flaws. Like, I
don't know what it is about Diaz that made all this shit so glaring. Like, this is the thing. It's like Aleem was to the level where I wouldn't think he would get exposed. I don't even like using that word, because when I see you as world class, like, you got to do some shit that kind of trumps some of your bad habits or minor technical flaws.
Right.
But like, he was looking like exposed.
Yeah, like he was looking, he looked mid. Like I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's like, now I know Aleem in the interview alluded to maybe because the last time he fought was January, but I mean, come on though. But it was. Like, I mean, because the person who he beat was a better fighter than Diaz, you know. So,
yeah, exactly. That's a crazy shit.
Yeah,
you rusty and you come back. Shout outs to Rusty Taylor, but you rusty, like, and you come back and you fight someone that's not even good as the last person you beat.
Right.
Like, come on, bro. Like, you get the kinks out. Like, the defense was like kind of like not there.
Yeah, you know, and Diaz was just landing. If Diaz had a little bit more power, like Baez had only had like 7 knockouts in 24 fights, but if Baez had a little bit more pop behind his shots or whatever, or if the fight was 12 rounds, that fight could have really got interesting because Aleem just entering the ring already lost his Mando spot to face Akhmadaliev because of the whole WBA taking away the interim titles, and Aleem had one of those. So
honestly, if these two fought again, like Baez, if he just makes a couple adjustments, man, he could do something.
Yeah, that's how alarming it was. I'm like, damn, Aleem, like you're supposed to be the truth. Like, like I'm over here telling my dad you're the truth, and you're over there, you put in the performance that had
he went from the dark horse of the division, like the guy who could beat everybody, to like he could lose to everybody.
Exactly, like
because I don't know if he beats MJ now.
Yeah, no,
I don't think so. Like MJ, I don't even think he beats Fulton.
Him. Yeah, I don't even think he beats Fulton. We'll definitely get to Fulton, but yeah, Aleem disappointed me more. Like, but at least with Gary Russell, the 118 Gary Russell, like he had been shown a level for that sometimes. So it's just like more or less like, damn, okay, something's gonna happen. Something needs to change. But Aleem was just like he just went from there to Superman, and he was like. I guess he kind of felt that too, because in the interview he let me know it was like, he felt some sort of way about that because people weren't fucking with his performance like that.
Yeah, I mean he did win clearly, but like the struggle was fucking real. I mean that's all there is to say about it. Just the struggle was real, but he did win, but damn.
Yeah, no,
it's like having a kid who brings home A's all the time, and then just one day they come home with a C+.
Yes.
You're like, what the fuck were you doing today?
Yeah. So does he get winner or now, or are y'all kind of soured on that for him to be up next against the winner of the main event of this stuff?
I'm not soured on it. It's just more or less disappointed to see why the hell it was just such a drastic change. Like, his previous performance, dude was looking like he was next.
Yeah.
And then now this one, all you want to do is say next.
The way next is said changed so hard.
Yeah,
turn from next to the MTV Next show back in the
day. Yeah, no, but I mean, like I said, I'll give Aleem at least another chance to, hopefully whoever his next fight is to really correct it, correct his flaws, or at least try to, and then try to have a better performance. But geez, like he was the one I was expecting a knockout to happen, and I didn't get it, and. I was embarrassed because I told my dad that he was the truth, and I made myself look like a liar, So
I'm telling you, man, you can't do that shit. You hype up fighters to your dad, man.
Yeah,
that shit always go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I was be looking at you like the fuck. This why I sent you to the gym to the dude, like.
Yeah,
this what you learned at the gym.
Yeah, and then after that, I told my dad too. I was like, okay, I guess I have nothing to say about the main event other than like I said, this should they'll probably let the hands fly, and that's it. I was like, I'm not saying nothing more, nothing less. After that,
let's get into the main event then, like, because that was a fight of the year.
Yeah, that was the fight of the year. See, unfortunately, it was the fight of the year that got outshined by another fight of the year that was just a little bit. That was just as.
You had more build up to it, so it was only natural.
Right, yeah. Showtime didn't do no type of build up for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so. But if you're a hardcore fan, you know what time it was for this.
Which is a shame, man, because it's like these are the type of fights that we want, but when we get them, it's like they fall flat because there's like no buzz.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's a damn fucking shame too. And the fight was just like. Yeah, they weren't fucking around. It was sloppy at times. It was dirty at times. But I'll be damned if them niggas would not land in fades on each other. Like,
yeah, they were. That was a great fight.
Yeah, it was wills. Like it was like they were trying to break some wills in that fight. AOP, you saw this fight, so tell me what you thought about it.
Hands everywhere.
Yeah,
hands everywhere they go.
These motherfuckers was. It was like, what's that Street Fighter character that throws all the E Honda, all them hands like E Honda.
Yeah.
Like, I had to watch it I had to watch the full thing this morning because I wasn't able for obvious reasons. I wasn't able to watch it last night, but I heard all the buzz, and so I watched it myself, and I'm like, damn, this is a fucking fight, and it sure as hell was. It was what we thought it was going to be a fight, but I didn't expect it to be to go the way it did, because these guys were putting hands on each other, but it seemed like one person was kind of hurting the other one a little bit more than I thought he would. And that guy being Figueroa. Figueroa was hurting Fulton a lot. It was 3 or 4 times. There were 3 or 4 times where he hurt him. I'm like, damn, like I thought he was going to put him out of there.
Figueroa definitely had
especially late.
Yeah, Figueroa definitely had Fulton moonwalking at some point.
Yeah, he had the better ring generalship. He had like he was the better fighter that last night. I thought Figueroa won, and I picked Fulton by KO, but I thought Figueroa won, like by a point. I had it 115-113 Figueroa. It was close. I could see a draw. I could see why people would say Fulton won, and I don't agree with 116-112 because that's bullshit.
Hell no.
Yeah,
but I thought that if you said, okay, he won 115-113, I'm like, okay, you know what? I understand. I mean,
I would still disagree.
I would still disagree.
I would be like, okay.
And the funny thing is too is I that's why I was predicting. I was like, yeah, Fulton win 116-112 if I decision. That's what I actually fucking said on the preview.
Yeah, I picked 150. I at the end of the fight, I thought it would. I scored it 115-113 for Figueroa.
Yeah, but I'll admit though, it wasn't. It definitely was not. I mean, although I predicted it and it happened, it definitely wasn't a 116-112 because in that fight, man, like. Yeah, the one thing that was driving me crazy too was how easily Fulton was bullied to the ropes. Because what Figueroa has shown me, he's not the greatest mid-range fighter, especially if you put him in the center of the ring. Yeah, like Fulton did his best work. Fulton was lighting Figueroa up when he was in the center of the ring. But when Fulton wanted that, little catch of breath or whatever, and he would get to the ropes or he get to the corner turnbuckles. Man, he catch all types of work, and it was driving me fucking crazy. I was like, now I'm like, okay, maybe Figueroa is just too strong for him to keep him consistently in the middle of the ring. But then Figueroa
holding was driving me crazy.
Yeah, like there was some holding earlier. I was like, Figueroa was really trying to wrestle, dude. And
but it was Fulton that was really initiating a lot of the holding. Like he couldn't do nothing when it's like when Figueroa would crowded space, like. Fulton didn't know what to do with his hands. Instead of punching, he turned in the damn.
He was kind of holding. He was kind of holding to stop Figure from trying to get his hold. He was trying to hold him to get Figure off him. Kind of felt like.
Yeah.
Like that left arm. He kept holding him with the left arm just to try to get Figure off. It worked. He got the win, I guess.
Yeah, but also what Fulton was doing was Fulton landed so many uppercuts on Figueroa. Like Figueroa was just. Like Fulton was doing some Philly shit. Like Fulton was in there slipping and throwing body shots and throwing uppercuts on the inside. Like Fulton was getting his B-hop on, like on the inside. Like but the problem was
beating his ass the first 5 rounds.
He was.
But it's just like around when it's like after the 7th, it just kind of, and even some of the first half was close. Mm-hmm. But man, like Figgy went into overdrive.
Yeah, this is when you saw. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude was he went like, he took it to another. Like he was eating all types of shit, like going in there, but nothing was dissuading him. Like I was like, Jesus Christ, Fulton has decent power. Like he was not being dissuaded for shit.
And yeah, because when Fulton landed, that shit was like super clean. Like it was accurate.
Crisp. You could hear it.
And one of Fulton's highest qualities is his stamina, but it felt like by the end of the fight, Figgy still could go a couple more rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like
because that wrestling wears you out. Like
man, it does.
Like Fulton would have been better off taking the initiative and jabbing and.
But it's hard. It's
going forward.
It's so hard. It looked like it really be hard for somebody at that because Fulton obviously was at a size disadvantage. It's like impossible basically for him to not get him on him.
It's not impossible. I've seen Devin Alexander do it plenty of times.
Yeah, but I don't know. And honestly, I mean, Stephen Fulton has been known to probably have has top like marathon level conditioning. Like He has that type of
Like,
stamina.
it's like he didn't use. It's like the shit King P was saying about Tio. Like he had the skills and everything to do, but he didn't utilize them correctly. Like Fulton should have never got into that type of fight.
I
Like,
say
he should have been boxing and moving, pivoting. Like he was off. Like it's like he, even though he was outlanded and winning rounds, the rounds he won were clear. He still wasn't winning in a ring generalship way. He was winning because he was landing cleaner punches.
Right.
But then it's like that stopped at a point because Figueroa picked it up. And then it was just about more so keep this nigga off of me type.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, and First and 15 says, even though I had Fulton winning, might be biased, Figgy definitely didn't lose by those scores, probably meant. I had it within a point or draw. There definitely was times where I felt Figgy could have gotten him out of there. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah. See, I fucks with that. Like, because there definitely was times where I'm like, God damn, like, Fulton looked like he's a punch or two from being dropped or, like, finished. So, that's the impression. So
it seemed like 4 times that he was really hurt. He was hurt out for the taking.
Yeah, you know, but like I said, Fulton though, I mean, even when he was hurt, he still kept on firing back, man. Like this was like Fulton.
It just the punches ain't had to snap like earlier. Like it just the thing is, Figgy, his defense is so bad. He was making the punches look better even when they were sparse because he would still catch them clean. And he just falls on top of him and just keeps grabbing, wrestling, throwing punches. It's like he was like, damn, like Ruiz, Hatton, and Margarito all in one.
Facts.
But then Clint, Fulton was doing a lot of holding. So I don't want to say it was a lot of Ruiz coming from Figueroa, but you know, he was making it work for him though, and he was throwing a lot of punches. See, a lot of niggas, they get into the holding wrestling shit, like Costa used to do it too, like really get into that grapple, wrestle you shit, and they limit their punches. Figueroa, he's one of those guys who seems to be able to wrestle with you and still get his shots off, and they're hard shots.
Right.
Shit, a fight with him and damn Navarrete would be a fight of the year, honestly, if they were the same size.
That shit would just be too crazy. Like someone definitely would go to the hospital after that.
Yeah, the fans might have a heart attack watching all that damn action.
Right.
Figueroa knocked from Navarrete.
You think Figueroa could knock Navarrete out?
That would be. No, I'm saying. Well, you were talking about. I stepped away for a second. You were talking about Figueroa and Navarrete. Like that fight would be a wet dream for a lot of fucking fans.
Yeah, went there. Yeah, agreed. That's like one of the best fights you can make in boxing as far as like a fight of the year contender. Like you might say it already won.
Right.
Yeah.
But but like I said, you know, I mean, if you gave it to Fulton, cool. You know, if you gave it to Figueroa, cool. If it was a draw, cool. But yeah, 160-112 was not how it's supposed to end. And Fulton was copping pleas too. Fulton was like, yeah, we could do this, but Fulton wasn't sounding as convincing as he was before. Like, yeah, we could do a rematch. But then Brandon Figueroa already put it out there that this was his last 122 fight, and he wanted to go to 126. So Fulton's not gonna go to no damn 126. Fulton would get knocked out fighting to do that 126.
At featherweight, absolutely.
Yeah, like like.
And it seemed like Fulton could make 126. Like I don't think he's a small, like he's a solid dude, but the way he reacted to Figueroa's punches at 122, like he would, And the way he was begging for Figueroa to acknowledge that it was a close fight, like it was a draw.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like this is a case of where even though you won, your stock kind of dropped a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the case for Fulton?
Yeah.
That's definitely the case for Fulton.
I'll tell you, in my opinion, why. Because I feel like both the winner of this fight to me was going to be knocking on pound for pound top 10 for me doors. And I mean, you know, the way Fulton, I mean, he still won the fight and he still took good accountability of himself, but I can't necessarily justify putting him there based off that performance. You know.
Yeah, let me tell you how high people have been on Fulton, and I'm a big believer in Fulton. That's why I was a little disappointed, with the whole thing last night, even though it was a very good fight. Let me tell you how high other people were on Fulton that I didn't even go this far, and I'm that high on Fulton. There were people that said if Monster came up to 122 and fought Fulton, that Fulton would beat him.
Wow.
Even I was like, yo, well, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. And so that's high praise on Fulton. Right. And after the performance last night, that's maybe we overvalued Fulton a little bit.
But I think people also kind of undersold Figueroa because I'm the only one, even though I picked Fulton to even stop him, but I acknowledge that Figgy's a good fighter. Like he gets hit a lot, but he has a lot of shit that he makes work for him, and he's just a tough outing. Like
no, I gave Figgy his props too because he's actually legit and he's a very good fighter, unlike the other Figueroa. But we won't go there.
Mm-hmm. I don't think any close
it's just in this matchup. A lot of times, we favorite a boxer in all these volume swarmer matchups. A lot of times, and I think we kind of undersold, intensity and volume, and we oversold skill and technique.
That's understood.
No, you definitely have a point there.
Yeah, I mean we do it sometimes because and sometimes it's the other way because I'm a victim of this with the Ruben Vega fight in Navarrete.
Oh yeah,
y'all niggas picked Navarrete, but I'm like I was on the skills because I'm looking at it like damn, if we fight him this way, there's no way he could lose.
Oh, Villa,
Villa. My bad, apologies. And next thing you know, Villa's getting dropped and on some like, oh shit, hold on, chill. Like, like he's crazy. You see these fucking uppercuts he's throwing, like Tiger, like nah, chill. And honestly, my gut call was to pick Figgy, but Fulton looks even better than Villa, and he really impressed me against Leo. And I was high on Leo. Leo could box. Yeah. Leo's good.
And I mean, to me. The difference to those two, but to me, is Fulton has a much better temperament than fucking Villa.
Yes, he does.
For sure.
And he's more proven, and he, you know what I'm saying. But remember, this was before Fulton even got that win over Leo.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but watching that fight,
and that kind of sold me like right there, and to me, honestly, Figgy was coming into with a bigger win, but even then, Fulton fought a good opponent and he looked great.
And let's think about Fulton because Fulton might actually took some years off Leo's career. That's the thing because Leo hasn't looked.
That
good.
Was a beating.
Yeah, he gave Leo a pure ass whooping. Like he sent him to the hospital type ass whooping. Like Leo hasn't looked good since. That fight, so that's
hold on. First and 15 said Fulton on Twitter copping please about it right now. When of y'all niggas pull up Twitter, like what he said?
Let me see what's going on with cool boy Steph.
I got it. He said rewatching the fight. Y'all tripping if y'all thought I lost. Go rewatch the fight on Showtime. I landed more clean shots and all y'all tripping and Brandon tripping. And like I said, we can run that back for a part 2. #unified.
Nigga, like, nah, son, dude put hands on you. Like, you landed clean punches, but the dude threw like 1,000 punches. He threw like 300 more than you and landed like 40 something more than you.
And it was mostly he fought his fight. Figgy found the way, to
and he fought his
tempo.
Yo, what are the chances of me seeing these tweets back to back? First is the Steph, the Fulton tweets, and now I'm seeing Caleb Truax just rewatched Lopez Kambosos Jr. Great fight of the year candidate. Rescored it with the volume off. 10-2 Lopez.
Oh, yo, shut the fuck up.
He's obviously joking.
Who was that, P? Who was that?
What?
Caleb Truex.
Oh,
Caleb Truex. He has to be joking. Like,
Yeah, he got to be trolling with that.
also, the first round was a definite 10-9 for Kambosos. Yeah, he's trolling. He's definitely trolling.
So some Teofimo fan is like losing his mind right now.
Facts.
Oh man, fucking yeah. For Fulton, nah, man. Like you know that fight was close. You know he put hands on you.
Right, and like I said, Fulton, like I mean, personally, I would love to see it too, and because I don't know if Fulton is ready for undisputed unification just yet.
Nah, him and they gotta run that back and put a Liam as the co-main. And I just need to press the reset button on this one.
Right.
The only shit that ended up right was the fights being entertaining, but none of these niggas looked as good as they was advertised.
Yep, the day that the Mexican contingent took over.
Of those three, who do you think really has to go really back to the drawing board? I'm sure it's either Aleem or Russell.
Russell's the one that actually thought
Aleem at least won his fight.
Yeah, he didn't look it, but he did clearly win. I didn't think Russell won his fight for anything. Yeah.
Russell lucky if Russell would have got a draw, like he would have been lucky.
Right. So yeah.
But it's like, wait, didn't they dial it back with him anyways? So like that's kind of not a good.
He kind of thought that the whole headbutt from last time was in his mind, so that could have threw off his performance too.
Yeah. So yeah, it just wasn't a good look. I mean, all of them, like everyone was the ones that Cliffords they won, but it just wasn't a good look for them. In their own various ways. But Showtime
they need to do a rematch of that whole card.
Facts. But
that'd be like the first time ever you had a whole fucking card just get rematched.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever said that ever.
And honestly, I would watch it. I would watch that motherfucker.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Showtime though delivered though. It was just a shame though. It was kind of outshined by Lopez Kambosos. I mean, for good reason it was. I
don't think as a card it was an outshine, but as a main event versus main event, it got outshined a little bit.
Yeah, because it
sounds like a future poll.
Yeah, it does.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, like everyone knows, anyone who's watching knows that Fulton Figueroa was a fight of the year, but it's just not trending. Like I don't see the clips for it like I see with for Lopez Kambosos. The clips are everywhere. Like everyone,
remember. It went on like right after it finished, and everybody got to really marinate with Lopez and settle in that it's like, damn, you smashing a dime piece and then another one walk in the room right afterwards. Like, like that's what it was. Like you eat like a good steak meal, then someone comes in, hey man, I got this lobster here. Like, really? Like, okay, like what you mad for? Nigga, it's free lobster. But I mean, it was a great, honestly, the best night of boxing all year, easily.
Yeah, like I had a mean boxing high. Like I had a. Well, I mean, I rewatched Lopez Kambosos again before I went to bed. After the Showtime card was over.
Same here, man.
Let's see if next week could top this week.
Yeah, and that's a perfect.
It's bad when a nigga say, you know what, I'll chill on Power. I could watch a real fight over again.
Yeah, and truthfully, the fights, because I was so much of a boxing, I forgot about Power.
Yo, low key, honestly, dog. I looked online. I'm like, oh shit, this shit actually dropped. Like, like okay, all right. See what's good with that.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Let me watch this fight again, and I'm gonna go to sleep. And then the morning,
that's Power though. Like, I think I would have remembered BMF.
Right.
Like, I mean, we've had some great fights, and the motherfucker be like, all right, hold on, BMF. Yeah. Canelo Plant ended like BMF.
But yeah, no, it was a great fucking card, a great fucking weekend of fights or whatever. We needed it. November, it definitely, it's definitely going out with a bang. And like I said, hopefully, like I said, as P alluded to, we have the same type of thing going on for next weekend because we have 2 cards, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And it's gonna be interesting too because one of them, P will be going to. One of them, hopefully, I will be going to. So, and the one hopefully I hope to be going to is on Saturday. Live on DAZN. This is the last leg of Eddie's U.S. tour. With Devin Haney defending his WBC lightweight title, and he is the WBC lightweight champion. People, official WBC lightweight champion. It's sad how much you see this argument on Twitter all the time about the validity of Devin Haney's belt, but it's a thing, and he is facing probably his best challenger to date in Jojo Diaz.
Like it is.
Well, Linares is more
accomplished, but like, come on, man.
Yeah, but this was Linares. I mean, unlike Linares, Jojo Diaz does not have a reputation of being knocked out by people he shouldn't be knocked out by.
One guy is in their prime, the other guy is,
not
in his prime rib.
Oh man, though, but Haney, Jojo Diaz, this is the type of fresh matchups because this is what 2021 like. Haney needed that because Haney needed respect on his name because. Unfortunately, the lightweight picture, unfavorably, froze him up, and we could thank Lomachenko for that, and which is why I don't feel no sympathy for how Lomachenko's going in terms of rematches and stuff like that, because he really pulled a horrible bitch move.
He's trying to orchestrate the momentum to build a rematch with a guy who just got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And it's now gonna move to 140. So.
Yeah,
what was the point of fighting all his leftovers?
So that's basically boxing gotcha. You gotta love to see when boxing gods come to us like nah.
He should have really been trying to go after damn Devin Haney and say, hey, I won, took the belt, and now build for a rematch for Teofimo or move on.
Right.
It's kind of funny that now the dude that was the butt of the email joke for the past 2 years or whatever. Has a fast track to potentially be undisputed after all the jokes and dust settled.
Yeah,
it's kind of ironic. It's ironic.
Not even the undisputed, just the fact that he's the one getting into the best, most relevant fights
at 135, especially and
Kambosos is going to be there. Kambosos is going to be ringside. George is going to be a ringside at that fight for sure.
Yeah, Kambosos. Yeah, Kambosos confirmed he was going to be there. So Devin Haney
options.
So they'll throw it back and put him in the ring. Put him in. Whoever wins, he's going to be in the ring. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit.
Yeah, Eddie likes his face off. So it's guaranteed if Haney understands the assignment and he does win, there's going to be a face off of some sort.
Yeah.
But this fight is finally because Jojo Diaz is has even though he's gotten over the disappointment of him losing his belt on the scales, in a fight where. Where people say he either got the draw or he should have won. Regardless, he wasn't going to leave there with a belt. But dude, he turned his career around. He beat the shit out of someone most people don't want to fight in Fortuna. Someone that a certain mentally ill social media brat should have fought. Yeah. So
the dude that finally called somebody out for the first time in a while.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
he was going to fight Jojo Diaz, but he was dragging his ass on that too.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Did he hurt his wrist shadow boxing?
Yeah, all types of bullshit. So, yeah, we were just waiting for him. So, Jojo Diaz was supposed to face Ryan Garcia. Then Ryan Garcia had surgery. So, it's like, hey, why don't we face each other? And this all happened on Twitter. And, and people got wind of it. And, and bam, we had a contract signed. And Jojo Diaz now, has a chance to be a 2-division champion. And like I said, it's definitely, and then Haney for his part though, a little crack in his armor happened in the fight we just mentioned with Linares, where in the last 3 rounds, Linares hit him with some shit that had him, doing the slew foot back to his corner, and then dude was coming out afterwards just to hug the man. He came out with his arms all the way out, and
asking for the status reports, you remember the intern reports in school,
Yeah.
You got to take that paper all around to your classes, and the teacher got to be like, all right, he's doing good. He's this bad, this, that. Like, this nigga literally asked Linares, like, so, how hard do I hit? Like, he was asking this man questions. I'm like, dude, like, the fuck is this?
Right.
That was really corny. That was really, really corny.
I ain't gonna lie, 135, like, full of so many cringe moments.
It do, yeah.
It's loaded as fuck. The right fights be happening for the most part. You know, good solid fights.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. No, because I'm thinking about it as a whole. Because remember, at one time, you know, Mikey Garcia was fighting niggas. Fucking Linares was fighting. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko was making good fights. So
yeah, that's true.
The past, you know, from 2018 to now, lightweight has been making good fights.
Mm-hmm.
More so than damn middleweight in 147.
Facts.
So, and it's like all these niggas got some cringe ass moments, like Lomachenko with all his excuses, with Tio with his excuses, Haney needing report cards from a Linares fight.
Yeah, so
Ryan Garcia mental illness bullshit.
Nah, and that's why I used to be like, ain't no 4 king shit here. Like, nah, none of these niggas is kings in this division.
Yeah, I mean, we got an emperor now, though.
Yeah, we do. You know, but at least now this is now a fight. 135 is now making the fights we need. Because, like I said, Jojo Diaz, Devin Haney. You know, this is a fight like they don't have bad blood.
I found on the web.
Oh shit!
According to Demotics.com,
Echo, turn off.
Expect new and Darren snaps from her on a daily basis.
Ringgangradio.com.
Alexa got to make her appearance. I'm just playing.
Yeah, sorry, my
even Echo want to get in on the action.
Oh, the Echo, my fault.
Hold on, y'all niggas doing the podcast? Why ain't y'all tell me? Like, you seen the fight, right? Like, oh shit. All right.
Oh man, no, but yeah, no. This fight though should be, and I mean, I seen the pictures of Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz looks like in great shape. Like, dude looks like he's in the best shape of his career. Now, will he make the weight? That's another different thing. But
because he looked like he was like 147 in them pictures.
Yeah, he was looking kind of chunky in that, a little bit.
No,
it was a swole chunky though. It wasn't like a fat chunky.
Yeah, it wasn't baby fat chunky. Dude looked like he was like
muscular. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I personally heard from someone who's in the know that he had a very, very rough start to his training camp.
Yeah, I could believe that. Because remember this fight hasn't been talked about that long. Like, remember, it was already signed for Ryan Garcia. So he was probably starting training camp. And then maybe 2-3 weeks later, the fight get canceled.
Yeah.
Then it's like a whole nother week or two trying to get the Haney fight signed. And then boom. Then it almost seems like, okay, 4 weeks later, we got the fight. Like, this fight is kind of coming up quick. I wonder who's in better shape. Like,
I just want to make sure we're getting the best Jojo Diaz.
Right.
The best, both of them, really. Because did Haney even have a fight signed?
He was trying to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it almost feels like the Porter.
Haney was in the gym. Haney was in the gym though.
Yeah, Haney's a gym rat though.
Haney's a gym guy. That I get. He's dedicated to being in the gym.
But then it's also like not just being in the gym, but being on for like the actual training camp. Yeah, like, I don't think they had like time like that to train specifically for this fight. Is what I'm saying, and I'm saying that's like on both guys.
I get what you're saying. It's different training regularly than training specifically for one certain person.
Yeah, like a real camp. Like,
it's kind of a shorter camp. It's a shorter.
Yeah, it's a shorter camp. But the thing is, one guy is in his prime physical. Another guy is still prime, but he may have peaked. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's an interesting matchup, though. I know Devin Haney would be the favorite, but yeah, Jojo Diaz, he got a lot of layers in his game.
So LB, how do you see it going in terms of like how it plays out for a result?
I think Jojo's gonna try to box with him, and then when he see that's not gonna work or he's not having the success he wants, I feel like he's gonna sell out to the body and try to drown Devin Haney late. Because I noticed a lot of these 135 cats, man, they not the best 12-round fighters. Like a lot of these niggas, they getting burnt out at like 8 rounds. Like JoJo, he went I think 10 rounds last fight with Fortuna.
Yeah,
or was that 12?
Oh, it's 112.
It went 12 rounds. Like he had Fortuna out at one point, and he started, really dominating at the end. But I felt like he couldn't put it to the next gear to stop Fortuna.
Mm-hmm.
But then Fortuna is a little tougher. He's experienced. He could survive. I don't know if that's so sure about Devin Haney yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one thing to survive against Linares. There's another thing to survive against JoJo Diaz, a guy who's more in his prime, hungrier.
Yeah, I mean,
Linares is a bigger puncher than JoJo, though. To be
right,
fair.
yeah, that's what to say. Like,
He's bigger, he's more talented, he's a better fighter. But as far as I might say, they punching power might be around the same at that point because it's an older Linares.
Yeah, and
Linares caught him to the head. Like JoJo doesn't head hunt. He kind of, he picks his spots. He kind of goes everywhere.
Yeah, but JoJo Diaz though hasn't really knocked out. I mean, it hasn't had too many knockouts lately in the last, was it?
Nah, he's been fighting tougher dudes though.
Yeah, that's usually the case when you
JoJo Diaz hurts people though, but he doesn't. And he not just him, but a lot of these guys, they don't have that extra gear to get a motherfucker out of there. It's not like how Tank could hurt you, and then it's like, okay, next round or 2 more rounds later, he gets you out of there. Yeah, these guys could hurt you, and they have you on the verge, but they can't push you off the cliff.
Yeah, and that's saying, like, just like the biggest limit, just as like the power is like the biggest flaw for JoJo Diaz. Yeah, that type of temperament is, I always felt, was like the biggest flaw for Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney has an almost 60% KO percent ratio. Like, and one of the things I used to say, like, I was like, dude, as he was coming up, dude was a hell of a boxer. But the one thing that I was like, that used to annoy me is like, dude would cruise control. Like, dude would not go into that second mode to get someone out of there. Like, if he could box,
don't say that to Moran.
Yeah. But that was before the Moran fight. Like, I think he heard the criticism before, and then he tried to be. The Moran fight is still a brutal, ridiculous KO. Like, it's dude, he sent dude to the bushes. Like, Moran probably could have died in that ring.
Yeah, that was KO of the year. I mean, of that year, it had to be top 3.
Yeah, it was the KO. It was the official KO of the year, and there was nothing. I wouldn't, argue that one. And then after that, he followed up by breaking the eye socket of his Mando next, and then afterwards he had to go into surgery. And then after the shoulder surgery, he doesn't seem to have that type of pop anymore. He hasn't shown it. And so it's like we don't know if the shoulder surgery.
He honestly should have knocked out Linares.
Yeah, and I was thinking, and Linares is like, Linares is, he has scar tissue. Like, dude has been knocked up by lesser fighters, and Linares didn't wobble once, like not once. Like he got boxed up, yeah, but he didn't wobble from any of them shots.
Like, the biggest takeaway is he never discouraged Linares.
Yeah. Like,
and it's like I feel like he has to really discourage a guy like JoJo. Because JoJo doesn't give up, really.
No, he doesn't.
And it's like I don't see Devin Haney being a better boxer than fucking Turbo Fist. So it's gonna be hard to discourage JoJo, man. He knows he's like, if he loses this fight, he kind of goes, back to the drawing board a little.
Right, because like I said, I mean, because Oscar wants a world champion. Oscar has been looking for another world champion, because he's a Golden Boy fighter. So nothing would please Oscar more than having him take a belt away from someone affiliated with Eddie Hearn.
Especially because he can make that Ryan Garcia fight real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah. As Ryan Garcia's second WBC standing, so that's just perfect. But
yeah, that's something. And then and that's why people were trying to upset the apple. So Haney doesn't, it's not Haney and Kambosos. It's either that or JoJo Diaz and Kambosos. Pilot though, since you how do you think this fight would actually play out and the result?
I mean, it's going to be a competitive fight. I mean, to be 100% quite honest, I think Diaz is a little too small. He's not a natural 135 guy. Gary Russell Jr. is a great fighter, and that was a good fight in itself. But he's just too small of a guy, so he'll impose his will. I mean, he's younger than some of the fight. He's still somewhat in the prime of his career, so he'll impose his will. But I think Haney just got too much tools in the tool shed. Plus, naturally, as a bigger guy, I like to see Haney get him out of there, but I think Haney will win by a comfortable decision. Probably, score wise, I'd probably say 116, 112 maybe.
Do you see Haney being stronger?
I think he's bigger. I think Haney's gonna, definitely be a little stronger. I know like Teofimo with the, could barely make. Haney's also a guy that was been talking about a couple years about not being able to make 135, struggling to make it. So he's naturally a bigger guy anyway. So I feel like he'll come out strong. He's gonna come out. Maybe he might come out looking not like a dumbass, trying to come out for the KO like Teo did, but Haney's gonna try to make a statement for that one.
People keep talking about people talk about Haney's. You can say whatever about his power, but you can't say he's not physically strong.
He's strong, he's fast, he's quick, really, really solid boxer.
I don't see him as a physically strong dude. Like, he doesn't look weak.
Maybe you could say he doesn't utilize his strength like that, but I don't think he's physically. I don't think he's physically weak.
He's not weak.
Nah. I definitely wouldn't say he's physically weak. Nah,
no, I mean he don't have he don't have he's not a KO artist, but
maybe JoJo can
look at him
help
as
him
strong though.
Maybe JoJo can force him to use his strength.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
maybe that's still a question we gotta get answered.
Actually, I might say 116, 111. I think Haney might drop him. So I'll say I think Haney might drop him. So,
I think JoJo Diaz has only been dropped like once, I think.
So it's Teofimo Lopez. We didn't expect that shit yesterday.
Yeah, that's also true. Well, no, Teofimo was actually was twice.
He got dropped his first fight. His first fight he got dropped, and I guess second round he got the guy out of there.
Yeah, but yeah, P. What about you?
I actually think this fight basically ends up being the lightweight version of JoJo versus Gary Russell. Take that for what you may.
A competitive 116.
I mean, those are strong words. So you're thinking that Haney's gonna beat dude on some 9-3 shit like Gary did?
Actually, I have it the same score. I have it the same score. 117, 111. A competitive 117, 111, but a 117, 111 nonetheless.
Interesting.
I feel like JoJo's gonna bring, and his style is actually gonna bring the best out of Haney, and Haney knows he needs it right now, so he's gonna be on his A game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think JoJo will bring the best out of him, and Haney will bring his level up. I think the defense, the counter punching will be there. I want to see how he responds to JoJo and JoJo's strength, because JoJo is a strong guy. So it's going to be interesting. But he'll do a whole hell of a lot better than Tevin Farmer.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So
that's a given.
I think JoJo will have his moments, but I think ultimately Devin will shine.
Word. And my prediction in terms for that fight going, I think it's going to be a decision. I think Devin's going to win a unanimous decision. I'm talking about maybe, surprisingly, probably like 117, 111 type of decision. I just feel. I mean, I think Haney is definitely on a different level with his boxing skills. Like, if anything, I think he'll probably will try to really sweet side JoJo Diaz a lot. I don't think the knockdown is going to occur because JoJo Diaz is pretty sturdy though, but I do think JoJo Diaz is going to catch some work though. For sure, for damn sure. But it's gonna be definitely gonna be a competitive fight. Like I said, because JoJo, one thing JoJo does do, he will fight from 1 to 12. Like, it's not like, I mean, you're not gonna dissuade him. Like, even when he lost his belt on the scales, like that fight he had, he wasn't in the best condition. Dude still fought hard as fuck to make sure that he didn't get another loss in the column. So
I see JoJo getting hit with a lot of lead uppercuts. Just my opinion.
Y'all niggas think Devin Haney gonna kick this dude's ass.
No,
Okay.
no.
Well,
I mean, I don't think he's gonna kick, but
A lot of lead uppercuts. That's an ass whooping, bro.
no, but Haney
Like,
Haney
dude,
likes to throw
lead
those.
uppercuts.
Haney likes to throw those, and I think he's gonna throw them against JoJo.
Someone who got a good right hook like JoJo, who gonna keep it rough on the inside. The ones Haney ends up there after he lands a fucking uppercut. I don't know. That's a bad move to me. Like, I feel like Haney could win this easy by just using his fucking quicker hands and feet and just jabbing and just sweet sciencing. He started doing lead uppercuts and shit. Like, wow.
But he can't like the sweet science thing might not work if he's trying to really, campaign himself for something better.
Nah, see, like this is one of those fights you just win, man. You try to look good against JoJo Diaz, that shit gonna backfire.
That's also true.
True.
Yeah, because you can't. Look, one thing you can't play with JoJo Diaz. Like you got to fight him. You got to fight him hard.
Because the time for him to be looking good in was against fucking Linares.
Right.
I
You want to look better against a guy in his prime.
Exactly. Yeah. It's first and 15 speaking real on the chat. So I agree with all that definitely. So he's a fight. I mean, I think Haney just needs to fight his fight and not he's not.
Yeah.
He's high. He has a good trainer, good corner. He's not gonna go out like a coke induced fucking try to be a fake fucking Hearns Hagler war shit that Teo came out with. But he's as long as Haney fights his fight and looks good enough, getting like LB said, get the W. That's all that matters. Getting that win.
I mean, if it actually turns out that way, then I'm like, that means either someone was really feeling it or there was a personal failing that happened beforehand.
I mean, he got Ben Davis in this corner. Like I do. I know he trains with him sometimes. I think he is going to be in his corner for this fight. So, like that kind of puts my mind at ease because Ben Davis, I feel like he's one of the best trainers out. Like you ever hear him speak and how he breaks down shit, like he got a great boxing mind. So if him and Haney linked up, that's already like plus 3 on the experience and ring IQ.
Yeah, I'm just reading first and 15's comments. 8-inch reach, disadvantage, and speed. I don't give JoJo much of a chance, to be honest. He's not a knockout artist, but he will keep him honest. Yeah, this is why people anticipate this fight, because it's like JoJo really now has to really has a chance to really prove himself again, especially after the weight title debacle. So,
and honestly, I don't think JoJo's as small or like people think. Like I think he grew out of them 130
for sure. Yeah, but 135 he shouldn't be. I mean, he shouldn't be growing out of 135 though.
Nah, he shouldn't. I think like 135 might be the best weight for him actually.
Yeah, I mean right now he's
at him as a small dude like that.
Yeah, he's right in the smack dab of a hot division, so you can't like.
Yeah.
And then,
honestly, I could see this fight being a draw, being close enough where no one loses the title. Haney could still make his moves and go for undisputed or whatnot, and JoJo keeps his reputation in the sport.
So
I don't see Devin Haney just running away with this shit like that.
So you do see it. So you see a draw. So I mean, so is that your prediction? A draw or?
I think I'm gonna go with that prediction. Like honestly, like because I'm like my heart is saying like JoJo's gonna give this dude hell. He's gonna make it rough, and he's gonna really concentrate on going to Haney's body. Then a part of me feels like Haney might just get into his Shakur bag and just not even let that type of fight happen. But then it also feel like Haney can't do that for 12 rounds.
Right.
He's gonna slip up in the middle rounds or round 8, round 9. And he's going to give a door to JoJo to walk through, and JoJo's going to run through that door. But I don't know if he has the power to stop Haney. Like, Haney, like, I don't want to say Haney's chinny yet, because Linares, even the old Linares could still hit. But it's like you didn't discourage Linares. A guy who's been knocked out several times and you can't discourage him, you're still making him try his hardest.
So
I don't know if he could do that with JoJo.
So I mean, yeah, this is JoJo. Yeah, that's why I can't wait for this fight. This fight, yeah, JoJo's gonna have to prove either it's gonna prove some of us or all of us wrong.
Yeah,
we
all got Kambosos wrong.
Yeah, and then at least the card for it is pretty decent. Undercard for it. I mean, Jessica McCaskill is going to be in the co-main defending her belts, and Montana Love's going to be on there. And the Croatian cap, Philip. I always forget how to pronounce his damn last name. Like HR Govic. And then they got Austin Ammo Williams. One of Eddie's Matchroom Boxing USA prospects, if you want to call him that. Alexis Espino and Mark Castro is on there, so it's a decent undercard. It's not a heavy hitting one, but at least a card that should actually just flow.
It's not a Golden Boy card.
Are you talking about Flip Hrgovic?
Yeah, Hrgovic. There we go.
Like, I don't know, that name is so hard to pronounce, bro.
I don't know, because sometimes the HR could be pronounced different ways or whatever. I always forget how to pronounce it. I don't know why.
Well, but yeah, I can't wait for this fight. I'm just getting a little late. So, but everybody pretty much Haney by decision, varying the rounds, and I'm picking the draw.
Yeah, like we got 2 117, 111s decisions for Haney, and then P, yours is just what was it, 116, 112?
117, 111.
So
you talking about Pilot? All you motherfuckers with these damn P names.
I said 116, 111.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you're the one that said that there was gonna be a
because you got niggas here thinking he's gonna drop JoJo and do lead uppercuts and backflip punches and he gonna do the Jason Jason Richardson front flip punch.
And then we got the lone draw, and there's nothing wrong with the draw. Like, I mean, if you're a gambling man, if you're a gambling deviant, yeah, draws are usually the move to put money on, just in case.
I forgot to fucking put money on Kambosos by decision. I only did knockout and his win. I was fucking pissed.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that shit too. You did tell me you were gonna.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. Because I thought I did a decision as well, but I didn't. I only did the win and anyways, man. I guess next fight.
Yeah. So yeah, the last final card to preview too is probably the one that's gonna get a lot of attention. This is the Sunday card in which our brother P is actually going to be in the house for, but not as a fan though, not as a media person, and that's quite all right too. Sometimes you need a balance.
Yeah. We give him a day off. I mean, he hold it down.
For real, and then like I said, this main event has been gone. I mean, it's been great controversial. With Gervonta Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. Now, the original opponent for Tank was one Rolando Rolly Romero, who, despite a lack of real fundamentals, but a lot of power and a tendency to say a whole bunch of wild shit, Rolly had somehow managed to get the attention of casuals. Especially when more of his stuff went viral, especially some of the shit that he would say to Tank or Devin Haney or any of the other lightweights out there. So a lot of people were looking forward to this just off the fuckery alone,
and the fact he had real knockout power.
Yes,
and it might be. We was looking at this as a potential shootout with fuckery potential in the build up, which. It was a solid fight, but not pay-per-view worthy.
Yeah. That's the big argument. Like, if it was on Showtime, I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. Although I would have still said that Tank shouldn't be fucking around with Rolly and shit like that.
Yeah, because honestly, the fight, I think a Rolly fight would have looked better next year after you had Rolly elevate a little more. Like Rolly should have been on the co-main for this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And lead into maybe a potential, like you got to know how to build up potential opponents, man. And PBC doesn't always do the best job of that.
Right. And unfortunately for Rolly, some things from his past popped up, and it was enough that he allegedly, and it was enough that he had to get pulled. The PBC couldn't have that type of issues being out there like that. So entering in a pencil in Isaac Cruz. And if I, of course, for me, if I didn't think Rolly was a pay-per-view fight, I damn sure don't think Isaac Cruz is a pay-per-view fight. Like, nah.
Some say he's a better opponent, but he's just a lesser, like, he's not a popular name, but
right.
And he had a bad outing not too long ago.
Well,
his last fight.
Yeah, he had a couple of bad outings in a row. Like the Romero fight was a bad outing. Like Romero low key almost made. I don't like using this word, but almost low key exposed him for being limited, like too limited. And he won, but it was too close. It wasn't. And then he had the fight with Francisco Vargas. Now Francisco Vargas. Now, if you guys, for you,
done.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, Vargas is war scarred, battle scarred. He's
he went the distance with Vargas.
Yeah, and Vargas wasn't even bleeding. He didn't start bleeding until like the last couple seconds of the fight, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
And that's the thing. Isaac was whooping on him, but it's like Cruz is one of those guys who it looks like he punches hard, but he's not a big puncher.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he punches hard. Like
I think it's because of that knockout. That one knockout he had a few months ago where he iced that dude cold.
Well,
the way he fights, like he fights like a guy like if you was in the gym and about to spar him, you would be like, okay, I gotta watch out for his power. But his power is more like his intensity more than anything, because the way he fights, you feel like he has power, like a lot of power.
I know what you mean.
He's just high energy, really, to me.
Yeah, but it's just the way he throws his punches. Like he really loads up and he attacks you. Like it's almost like a poor man Salido.
Right.
Like Salido. Like when you see Salido hit people, you get more of an effect from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you be like, oh shit, yeah, Salido could crack, but Isaac Cruz, you be seeing him wail on people, and it's like, okay, it's almost like a Josh Warrington effect.
Right.
but even then, Josh Warrington seems like he hurts people though, so it's crazy. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. And then and of course, Isaac Cruz is not buzzing like that among casuals, and it's like, and then usually, and this is where you got a lot of the backlash in terms of the type of thing. Tank shouldn't be fighting this guy not shouldn't be fighting this guy on pay-per-view, all that type of deal. And I think, and like, who could blame them? So yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to this fight. However, the undercard, they did make it up though with a fire undercard though.
Damn, we gonna finish the Tank fight?
Oh yeah, we could do that, but I just wanted to make sure that fire undercard.
My bad. I mean, you're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah, so
yeah, but yeah, 1st and 15, you're absolutely right. This fight is regular Showtime status. That's some real shit. That's 100% accurate.
Right, and it just makes it hard for me. I was like, God damn, like I just think Isaac Cruz is a lesser fighter than most at 135. Like, even though he is kind of ranked high from that, I think one of the
he's like Barrios. He's lower top 10. He's like number 10.
Right. So it's like, I mean, I honestly don't think Isaac Cruz has anything for Tank. Like, I mean, if I had to make a prediction on this fight, I'd be like, yeah, no, Tank will probably knock dude out in probably maybe 6 rounds.
Damn, I honestly don't think he'll get him out that soon. Like, I think we'll get a shootout. If Tank gets him out earlier because he clips him, but that dude's head is tough. Like, man, like Tank better go to the body because that dude look like he'll take some punches.
Mm. So are you think it'll go later? It'll be a knockout later or a decision?
I don't know, man. The way Cruz fight, this shit might go to decision. Like, I think we gonna get like a real war out of these niggas. Cause remember, Tank ain't the most defensive guy.
That's also true.
And dude is short. Tank ain't gonna have to look for dude. So I think Tank is gonna be more offensive, but then Tank is gonna be getting hit back too. It's not like it's Santa Cruz where a guy who may not be as physically dense as Crawford. I'm sorry, what the fuck nigga said Crawford as Tank. And he got the height, but it's a different type of punches. Same thing with Barrios. Like, they're trying to boxer punch you. Like, Cruz is gonna be wailing away, swarming. Like, you might see Tank get hit with some shit in this fight.
Right.
So I don't know. I can see this going the distance. Like, it's weird. The only way I see Tank get him out of there if it's early, he catches him cold, he clips him, or he goes to the body and just really sets it up and gets him out. But I think we'll see a good 12-round, 117, 111 type of fight. Like the one guy is clearly winning, but he's in a good hard fight.
Right.
Like a Beltran Crawford or some shit.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Pilot, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was more, like the Rolly fight was interesting for fuckery, but this fight to me is a better matchup. It's still like First and 15 said, it's still a Showtime status regular card, not pay-per-view, but thanks to money, man. So, anyways, the fight should be, first couple rounds will be fireworks, but Tank's gonna get dude out of there eventually. I think Tank will knock him out in the 7.
Okay, 7th round knockout.
Damn. So 6 and 7.
P,
what King P has it as?
Tank gets him out of there in 5.
5, 6, 7. Shit.
Yeah, I think his swarming style will be great for the first couple of rounds, and then I think once Tank gets to him, uppercuts him, he's once he starts taking too many Tank punches, yeah, it's not going to end well for dude.
Right.
And he's going to put Tank in a position where he's going to fight, where he's going to have to fight back hard and often, and that makes me think it's going to end quicker.
See, I could definitely see that, but I would have even said the 5th round. I would have been like the 3rd round.
I mean that it could end earlier, but I think it's gonna take Tank a couple rounds to get the timing right and to get in on him swarming. The first 2-3 rounds might he'll fight off of instinct. But by the 4th, 5th round, he's gonna get the timing down, and he's gonna catch him coming in with some shit. He's gonna get some uppercuts. We might see uppercut season again.
I think 7's a little generous, to be honest. I'm thinking more towards 4, but we'll play it safe and safe.
This nigga. But I mean, we was talking earlier, but pre-banter or whatever. I was saying basically, I think the reason why they choosing these opponents, like, this year wasn't a wasted year for Tank. It do look like it was a slowed down year, but I feel like they're trying to build him up and to see how much of a star he is by himself. So they stuck him in there with a bunch of young guys who could give him a decent little tussle. So they're trying to really maximize his star power. They're going to be collecting all the data on, his streams and all this shit when they promoting them and then
LB's
we already know Mr. Potato Head's gonna do all that.
Yeah, and then they'll use it as an excuse to say, "Hey, we don't need to fight Taylor. We don't need to fight Kambosos."
I think that's the angle they're going for, but I do believe that they're gonna make bigger fights next year. They're gonna be bigger than these fights. I don't know if they're gonna be huge fights, but they'll be bigger opponents than Cruz and Barrios or Rolly. I gotta say Rolly because that's what they intended on first.
Right.
They end up a little better because Cruz is he's a more accomplished guy, better resume. So It's almost went from a lateral move to like a slightly diagonal move. But I think they'll definitely they're raising his profile up and they building good cards around him because the undercard's nice. And they're gonna use that for next year to try to get a bigger name out there. But you needed this type of year where you're picking young, hungry guys and putting the whole all access behind them because all access was good. Niggas actually down here in my damn city training, so that shit was dope, just to see that. So they really building up Tank to be a superstar, and he is almost like the money guy right now. That's why when King P said he should really try to go after the belts at lightweight, they could do, that'd be a good move. But then I also feel like maybe he settled at 140.
Right.
But then I know he's going back and forth because this fight's at 135, right?
Yeah, he could still make 135 if he's disciplined.
And I'm hearing he dropped that Barrios fake belt. Once he gets in the ring, supposedly
he had to because of the WBA's whole mess. He had to.
Yeah,
they told him you can't have all those belts.
Yeah. So this fight's at lightweight then.
Yep. Yeah. It's for his GameStop lightweight title.
Oh, okay. The GameStop lightweight.
he's dropping that soon.
He's gonna drop that too. Yeah. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, definitely, they trying to see. Okay, that's a perfect move. So definitely, they trying to see how big his reach is and how the buzz and really solidify it at 135. So yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but at least though, I mean, for the type of main event that it's not really the type of main event in it once. Like I said, there are several. Like the undercard has at least a lot of significant fights going on, and we got Eduardo Ramirez versus Miguel Mariaga, which is going to be a fade for as long as it lasts. And then we got probably the most interesting one because I think this is like whoever wins will probably be pushed more, and the other one should probably think about retirement or
There's 4 undercard fights.
3.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, and then the other one is Sergey Derevianchenko versus Carlos Adames, which is
I forgot about that.
Isn't that
Derevianchenko versus Adames?
Yeah.
Is that eliminator for Munguia?
Is it Munguia eyeing the winner of that?
Yeah, for the vacant belt, I think, right? Is that
No, it's not a belt. It's an eliminator.
It's an eliminator.
No, I'm saying for Munguia. I mean, isn't there supposed to be the winner of this face Munguia for a belt or no? I'm not tripping.
Eliminator.
The winner face Munguia for the eliminator.
WBC
eliminator. Okay.
Because Munguia wants to just keep fighting eliminators and super eliminator and
that would actually
Omega eliminator.
That would actually put him in the line for Charlo, right?
He should be fighting Charlo now. He's the number 1 contender for Charlo.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole irony of it. Like he could push a fight for Charlo. He could push a fight for Andre, but he's waiting on Derevianchenko. Like, come on.
Yeah, and
he's fighting Rosado. Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, and we've talked about Derevianchenko. Like, Derevianchenko's been put through the ringer. Like, Derevianchenko shouldn't even be in a fight like this. Like, it's a dangerous fight for him. He's like Derevianchenko is taken a lot of punishment in his last 3-4 fights.
And the fact is and I won't even say it's a fact, but the craziest shit is if Derevianchenko were to win, everybody's going to be pushing for the Munguia fight instead of saying, man, fight Andre, man, fight Charlo.
Right.
That's the sad part. It's because I don't know if a fight gets made if the Adames wins.
Yeah, Adames is a live dog. I mean, barring the blood and guts fight of the year he had with Patrick Teixeira, which was upset. Like Adames is a strong puncher himself. Like Adames is looking to do things at 160.
He don't have the name recognition as a Derevianchenko, and then you can't play the whole comparison game with Adames.
Right.
And honestly, if you're gonna roll the dice on Adames, you may as well roll the dice on Andre and Charlo.
Right. Because
Adames honestly needs to win this fight to kind of throw a wrench into this shit.
Right, exactly. And Derevianchenko, if he wins, he'll get a Munguia fight, and it'll just be more cumulative.
And then they'll stop the whole Charlo fans, overrating the Derevianchenko win.
Right, because Derevyanchenko, like I said, Derevyanchenko, most people don't know he's 13-3. You know, people he's only been he hasn't had a long professional, and he's like 33 years old. Like, dude should be being rebuilt right now. Like, dude had the Jacobs fight, which was a war. He had the Triple G fight, which was like a ridiculous slugfest.
That was like 2 wars.
Yeah, and he had the Koke fight, which was a hard fight. You know, and then the Charlo fight, you know, which was a hard fight. You know, so yeah, Derevyanchenko is been put through the ringer. So
and he's had them all roughly in a row.
I mean,
right.
put through the ringer is an understatement. He's been put through the damn grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's been put through a grinder, ringer, whatever the fuck. Like, combine all them shits. Like, he been put through it.
Dude been through it. You know, dude been through it for sure.
But yeah, I hope the boxing gods. I know Kambosos and Kiko Martinez have appeased you somewhat, but please show your dishonorable favoritism in this bout with Derevyanchenko and Adames.
Right, you know, yeah, because truthfully,
we need more fuckery from you.
Right.
Because, man, like, Derevyanchenko wins this shit, then we'll be stuck with a damn, all right, live on Golden Boy on the Zone. We have Munguia versus with the undercard of Sinencia Superbat. With, let me see, Blair Cobb opener.
Shit, that would be fire though on the low.
No, nigga, shut the fuck up. No. Your ass up here talking about that. Hold on, wait. That'd be fire. Like, now some niggas gonna be listening to this shit because motherfuckers listen to us around the world. One person gonna be like, like, that's not bad. Like, Ring Gang niggas said it was dope. Like, shit, yeah, Pat, that one guy, the big guy with the glasses, yeah, him, yeah, he did all the fights.
Oh shit,
giving these niggas ideas. You need to put a fucking Virgil Ortiz damn headliner with what's that other black nigga on Golden Boy that they don't be getting fights?
Rashidi Ellis.
Shit, put that out there.
Is he in litigation or some shit like that?
Yeah, he's having some issues with Golden Boy.
Of course.
Yeah, they need to squash that shit. They squashed the Ryan Garcia issues.
I mean, it doesn't help. Now that reminds me of Spence telling Oscar, "Oh, I would never go to Golden Boy because you don't treat black fighters.
You don't treat brothers well. You don't treat black fighters well, brother." I remember that. Spence wasn't lying. Hey.
Oh man, and then we got a co-main too.
Oh, the Fundora fight. Okay.
Yeah, the Fundora fight, 17-0-1, facing Sergio Garcia, 33-0 at 154. So that is actually a great 154 fight.
That might steal the show for the night.
It could possibly, yeah. I mean, pretty much Sergio Garcia's probably most known fight that we know of. You know, is definitely the Ted Cheeseman one, taking Ted Cheeseman 0 a couple of years ago. Yeah. Ted Cheeseman, of course, who is, if he's not like
resident brawler.
Yeah.
With no defense.
He's a solid UK. He puts on for those matches. He's a workhorse for Matchroom cards.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's a workhorse. Yeah. Not afraid of fades, has power, no defense, really.
Well, he just stops trying defense after the third round. I'll be more, exactly. I'll be a little more accurate because he do keep his hands up and he do move his head, but it just lasts like for 3 rounds.
Yeah, and after that, he just has to get in there and mix it up. You know?
Bless his heart.
Honestly,
I'm looking forward to this fucking card. Hold on. And these shits ain't overlapping. It's Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Yeah, they actually run down the card. That's actually not a bad pay-per-view card, to be honest. Even though the main event's kind of.
Nah, it's not a bad card. Don't even say the name pay-per-view though. Like,
Sunday.
Yeah, it's a card. It's a Sunday. No, I mean, like I said, now if you're a football nigga or a basketball nigga, then it's conflict. But if you're not, then you're in heaven right now. That there's a Sunday card, and then Pete, like I said, is going to probably be there and. depending.
I am gonna be there. I have tickets.
Oh, yeah,
Niggas
yeah,
said probably like, hold on, something will happen. Like, no, chill. Like, what you want Derevyanchenko to do a first round knockout? What's the weird shit you want to happen that night? Like, bro, give it a rest. But man, what you think? Fondora Garcia, like, who y'all got in that?
Fundora.
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'll go with Garcia. I always think Fedora is.
I think Fundora is better than y'all give him credit for. Honestly,
That nigga defense, my goodness.
he does. He does have. His holes. He does have his holes and defense being a big one. But you got to go through some fire to get, through that defense.
I don't know. I still remember that fight he had with Jamonte Clark, where I thought Jamonte Clark actually beat his ass, but he got the draw instead. And I think
Gallimore was damn punching holes through his body before he got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I thought Gallimore actually buzzed him a couple times. I'm like, oh damn, like.
Yeah, it was fun because I always think Fedora is ripe for an upset because, like I said, the no defense thing is thick because I remember he had probably the lone good fight on Wilder Fury 2 with the top ranked prospect who's fucking 6-0, and that prospect was putting hands on him too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like dude, and then of course he has the obligatory Coda knockout on his record as well. So
but you gotta walk through fire to get to the top of that tree though.
Yeah, I honestly I don't understand how he actually makes 154. Like, dude weighs in way under that shit too. Nigga's 6'6".
He kind of frail, but he powerful.
Yeah.
He just look like you could knock him out with any punch, any hard punch you land. Like that's how the impression he gives off, but. He rains down so many accurate punches on you, and he be whipping at you the angles, like. But he had 154. Anybody can have the best night of their life in that division.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. Damn, this is a good fucking card, but damn, sure ain't worth no pay-per-view.
I know, right? Like, yeah, that's the thing. I'm just like, jeez.
I'll be damn. We gonna make Tank a pay-per-view star in a damn era where. Pay-per-view shouldn't even be popping.
Right.
So what's the over and under Tank gonna get more sales than Crawford Porter?
I mean
over.
Considering the fact that it's not on a digital platform.
Yeah. Top
ranked shop. Damn, will Tank gonna sell like 300K.
Right. So yeah, I mean, for sure that it'll probably sell more than that. Like if it doesn't, that means people really weren't fucking with who Tank was fighting, and the undercard wasn't enough for the casuals to really tune in.
Yeah, Bob fucked that one up. I honestly think that was his last fuck you to Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll fuck up your pay-per-view sales, nigga. You'll do Golovkin Lemieux numbers. Niggas gonna be tallying up the damn chili dog sales. Okay. All right. That's fucked up, though.
But like I said, though, it's good to have boxing back-to-back Saturday and Sunday, and they don't overlap each other in any type of way. So... That's still it's a good look for all, So like I said, let's hope that boxing continues this momentum of people, going all out in the ring and giving us fight of the year candidates, classic fights, fades, all that.
So that's probably it for that card. Everybody picking Tank, everybody's picking Fundora.
Well, I picked Garcia. I think.
You picked Garcia? Oh wow. Okay. Now I could see that though. Like that's a close fight. Like, yeah, I could see that shit. Yeah, honestly, you make me want to damn switch my pick because Fundora is so fucking easy to hit. My goodness, yo, like.
Mm-hmm.
But damn,
I don't know why. Every time I hear the name Fundora, I'd be like, damn, I want some fondue.
Nah, you're on your own on that one, nigga.
I want some fucking hummus. I ain't had no hummus in a while. Some red pepper spicy hummus. Yeah.
Ugh.
Damn. Wow. So Garcia. Damn. By knockout or decision?
I think Garcia will win by decision.
See, damn. I think he would. If he was to beat him, he'd beat him by knockout.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Garcia could definitely outbox Fundora, but it just
but he got to outwork him too, though. Like he got to shut this nigga down.
Right.
Just outbox him. Fulton outboxed Figueroa too, I guess. Like,
right. Yeah,
but I kind of fucks with the pick though. But yeah, I'll just probably stick with Fundora. But if Garcia wins or knock his ass out, I would not be surprised. I almost kind of like okay, yeah, I expected that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Derevyanchenko. What was your thoughts? What was your picks on that?
I think I'm gonna go with Adamus on that one. I think Adamus is gonna beat Derevyanchenko.
Yeah, same here.
Same.
Yeah. I think Derevyanchenko just the wear and tear is too much right now for who he's facing.
Damn, we all picking Derevyanchenko down. Now he's gonna have the fight of his life.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn it, we're gonna make this card that Pat Scorpio wanted. Oh man, fuck it, boxing. You gotta love it, man. But that's about it, right? Like,
yeah.
The Shields fight this week too, or that's the next week?
That's the next week.
That's the next week.
Damn, with the Kami and Lomachenko, or that's the week after the next week?
Yeah, the week after the next. Yeah, that's the 11th.
Yeah,
boxing full as fuck. Okay,
that's a full weekend right there.
I see you boxing, trying to be the number one sport in the world right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we good then. I mean, So this is Pat Scorpio, the New England Don. Y'all niggas want y'all motherfucking closing shout outs or whatever the fuck y'all niggas do. King Pilot, Conscious P.
This
but
guy.
yeah, Pat, do your thing, bro.
So yeah, I think it's time for final thoughts, man. So since you want to be referencing me, so LB, man, tell us your final thoughts, man.
Oh man, boxing was fucking amazing last weekend, or yesterday, or last night, however the fuck you want to say it.
Yeah.
It was outstanding. Shout out to King P for holding it down.
Yes, sir.
And being in the building for one of the best fucking fight of the years of the year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And putting out a good quality video with a
Conscious.
nigga everybody be ducking. Andre, yeah. the bad luck
Andre.
Awesome Andre. So y'all can check that on ringgameradio.com or the YouTube page, or like we said, Facebook, Twitter, it's everywhere, nigga. So might put that motherfucker on Facebook or IG, who knows? Just follow us, goddammit.
Word.
Shout out to everybody on Podomatic.com worldwide that fuck with us. Everybody on Anchor. And just, all the platforms, make sure you follow us. We're gonna be putting out more content. Gonna drop the cartoon intro soon, probably this week. Because we on the animation shit. The cartoon coming up. Episode 4 is amazing. The fighting, we taking the animation to another level. You gonna see fireballs and niggas fighting in the air, motherfuckers getting cut in half, like real shit. Like no lie, niggas gonna be getting body slammed, stomped out.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have special guests in this episode. Like we might even get a new single out, a soundtrack for that bitch. That that's looking like it might be in the works. So just stay posted. And if you on TikTok, you gotta fucking follow us on TikTok. We give you all the new knockouts, old knockouts. We just getting you ass opens. We gonna start putting more content out on there, more creative shit, more training. A lot of shit's in the work. Just want to close out the year real strong. Just do it big. Just shout out to everybody holding down, prolific genius. Editing and just killing shit. RTDZ, PJ the Fight Architect in Rome, top 5 album on the way, and last but not least, my man Clownarchy, the sample genius. All right? So we just doing our thing, and just fuck with us.
Absolutely.
Oh, and check out Pat Scorpio's damn fight report. Well written up on the Andre Quigley, some dope article on the site. So y'all check that. I'll get a little behind the scenes look, and we getting back in the game. We ain't been at no fights in a minute, so
exactly. It was just like but what it's like riding a bike. Once you do it, you never forget.
Yeah, it's crazy because Andre was the last fight before the pandemic, and then he's the first fight afterwards. Or
exactly, Andre has been.
And then the nigga who just get on there, he get Andre footage. So it's like I don't know, like Andre is like a recurring theme, like for Ring Gang Radio somehow. So
right.
So we just gonna hope he gets a big fight next year, and just we keep doing this shit, man.
Absolutely. Ayo, P, your final thoughts?
Great weekend of boxing. Loved it. Was in the building for one of the fights. So one of the events. It was amazing, and I was grateful to be repping Ring Gang, and doing our thing. Hopefully, we got some more media work in the works. You know what I'm saying? We got to do the boxing lawyers work. You know what I'm saying? We got to do it. So we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Please the boxing gods with our, reporting and authentic creative content. Unlike some of these other fugazis,
Of course.
But, the year's ending with a bang. So, keep fucking with us. You know where to find us. ringgangradio.com. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You already know the drill. So hit the follow.
Word. Ayo, Pilot, your final thoughts?
Oh man, what can I say that hasn't been said? I mean, it was a great weekend. Fuck that. It was a great month. I mean, I remember when like late October or whatever, when the November slate of boxing, the lineups, my hopes were high, and it lived up to it. You know what I'm saying? It's been a great month of boxing, and we still got another month to go with a good, 3, 4, 5 good matchups. So, I mean, I'm glad, we got 2 fight of the years in 1 week, and 1 weekend, 1 night, contenders, and none's like boxing, man. It's the GOAT sport, and and we're the GOAT podcast. So check us out on everything you can at ringgangradio.com. TikTok, IG, Facebook, YouTube, everything in between. Spotify app, Apple, the Apple Podcast app, Anchor, and all that shit, man.
Absolutely, man. And then my final thoughts are, it was also good to see that these fights had so much attention, at least that that we're able to ignore Triller's nonsense, which it's out there. If you actually are interested in
no interest, please don't mention that crap anymore.
Yeah, like I said, Triller's lost all types of all flavor for it since they decided to turn it into a whole Trump, make America great again type of promotion. And I can't. I'm not gonna.
Has anybody's stock fallen as far as Triller within 1 year? Like they went from top 10 to barely mention it all. Like for real.
Yeah, like they fucked up. I can't believe how quickly they fucked up.
I remember Teofimo's damn stock fell farther.
Yeah,
because at least Triller still got verses.
That's also true.
Yeah, but the funny part is both of them intertwined and helped their stock fall. Like it's like, you know what?
Facts.
Let's help each other fall. Our stock will both drop together.
It's like you see how 2 people could be helping each other carry something, but both are doing a bad job, so they both drop it.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yep.
Like 2 niggas carrying a window pane and get spun around and they just shatter that shit on the floor. Like, yeah, Triller and Teofimo.
Yeah, speaking of verses, though, so it's good to bring this up. There's a verses that I know LB has been waiting for.
Bone Thugs unanimous decision.
Yeah, Bone Thugs and 3-6 Mafia.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, going down it's Thursday on December 2nd.
The day, but if only it could have been in LA on a Friday, I would have been there for that. So I'm gonna be in LA. What the dang you, Staples Center and Versus.
Yeah,
Oh man, I know that shit would be amazing live. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's good. It's gonna be all good though. I mean, like I said, if you're tired of the R&B or the hippity hop to the 1-2 stop, you must learn, type of stuff like someone.
If you're tired of New York hip hop, being beating you in the head, on Versus.
I love New York hip hop more than anything, but it's a fresh matchup.
Although I'm gonna be annoyed because I laugh because literally like the Triller, the Versus Instagram and Twitter app keeps because people are like, is Busy gonna show up? They're like, yes, he's going to be there. They're like, for the 1,000th time, yes, he's going to be there. And watch him not show up. I'm going to be pissed if he doesn't.
I've been to 2 Bone concerts, and one time Busy wasn't there, and I was disappointed. The first time, even though Lazy's my favorite.
Was he advertised?
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
I've literally never heard anybody say Lazy is my favorite Bone Thug member. Literally never in the history.
You know what? Like low key, like Lazy was mine too, but I was fans of all of them though.
Busy. It's always usually Busy or Crazy.
Crazy was a leader, you know what I'm saying? I like Lazy though. I like Lazy a lot of some of his verses on shit.
I like Lazy flow though, man. Lazy used to like kill shit.
I like Wish more than Lazy, to be honest.
See, now that's one I never hear. Like I've heard a few niggas say Lazy, but Wish is like the nigga people used to clown. I fuck with Wish though.
Wish was cool, but he was
sorry, my bad, not Wish. My bad. Flesh. Sorry, Flesh.
Wait,
I'm about to say like
my bad. I'm thinking that everybody says because in my mind I'm like everybody usually says that Wish is the worst, but like so that's why that was in my head. But yeah, no,
I like look at Wish as whack though. Like
he's not. No, he's not.
Niggas always gotta give somebody the whack label in a
group. He's not whack.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like
but he's not whack. But everybody says everybody always says he's the worst. Like of the ranking them. Yeah, I like Flesh more than Lazy. That's what
it's just like Locks. I mean, Sheik Luch ain't. I've heard a couple people say Sheik Luch is their favorite, but usually it's Jada or Styles. You know,
yo, fuck them hoe ass niggas, yo.
Nah, you mad.
Ain't no Sheik slandering on the ring game.
Oh no, I love Sheik. Sheik's dope as fuck.
No, Sheik like the Sheik trash. Like it was like throw you into a wall and hit you with the predator gun.
He's far for he's dope as fuck.
Yeah, he's got the best albums he's got the best albums, solo albums of the Locks members.
Probably so.
Like Desert Storm, parachute right in your lawn, sniper rifle clap to your faces.
His verse I'm feeling the air. Yeah, his verse I'm feeling the air. That Beanie joint. Yeah, he killed that shit. He's dope.
Yeah, and that's why people are like, that's why people are waiting for something like this for Versus. Like they're waiting for that hard shit to be airing again.
Yeah, I need some shut the fuck up and and mafia. Yeah, okay. Yeah. R.I.P. Coops the nigga and Lord Infamous.
Yes, sir.
And Lord and R.I.P. Dolph because he died on Lord Infamous birthday. Like,
damn. Yeah, rest in peace, Dolph. That was
niggas is hating Memphis, man. Memphis need a big one, man. So 3-6 gonna represent, show out.
Yes, sir. And like I said, it's Thursday. It's on Thursday, it's December 2nd. I'm pretty sure there'll be links anywhere for it. I forgot what time it's starting though. I don't have that information there, but I'm pretty sure y'all can find that yourselves.
I think it's probably gonna start at 9, but these motherfuckers be super late with shit.
Right, word. But other than that, definitely, we thank you for following us, listening to us, subbing to us, man. So yeah, you just keep on doing it because we got more shit in store. Sub to everything, especially on YouTube, and tell your friends so they can sub, and then we can all be friends. Because, like I said, we do this shit for y'all. And if you're feeling real generous, and you really like what we really want to put some influence on our content, we have links on our website, and our Twitter and everything. If you feel a little generous, to donate something towards us, for future projects that we are working on, and of course, obviously, it will be very, very much appreciated for sure. So yeah. For myself, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative. For LB,
LB, the
God,
Shuttleworth
the GOAT artist. I almost forgot this nigga's name for a hot minute.
Damn.
Yeah, for
You
King
treat me
P,
like a tank opponent.
for King P, Bodega P, and then for Conscious Pilot. This has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.
Tell your mama and them.
Peace.